वेलकम बैक टू अनदर लाइव स्ट्रीम। यहाँ पे हम देख रहे हैं बूम बाम जो C9 दे रहे G2 को। ऑलरेडी 3-1 हो गया। मैं बोला ना 2-3 राउंड मिस हो गया।
There's even a world where Jogamo could get into his ult this round after planting the spike.
तेरा भाई ऑक्सी फैन ठीक है?
Swinging out on this upper angle.
मरा।
Cut down by the Mosh. He's alive somehow.
नहीं मरा नहीं।
More fight to come.
आते कुछ क्रेजी चीज देख दिया बे।
G2 tucks away John the swing though. Brings this one even and that's
भाई मैं बराबर देख रहा हूँ जॉगमो गेको।
Will it catch anything? No, Vic in the air, up above, needs to find this second player as Leaf. Only a stinger, but he dances around, finds one. And now 1 versus 1. The pistol is out! And Leaf, against his former teammates, comes up with the clutch.
Unbelievable. How is he winning that? First of all, G2, the eco round. Second, Leaf with a Red Bull clutch there. Just a little bit nutty.
I love the way C9 play in when they hear that ultimate use. Everyone's taking high ground, nullifying the impact, but still.
भाई इसमें जॉगमो गेको ही खेलता था क्या?
Yeah. And also Oxy is on 1 HP with an alpha.
नहीं ना?
Like I didn't see how he got chunked out backside, but it just all sort of fell apart from C9. There's no way those opening fights are going 2 for 2 for C9 with the gun advantage there. They're going to be kicking themselves for that.
No sentinel common है.
There's that util to clear up pipes this time. No one disrespecting it. Instead, a walk up through B from Cloud9, and it looks like someone is currying it in spawn.
Yo, Jonah P is a rat. But there are about 4 people headed his direction. Was he seen? I don't think so.
No. How many can he get? No.
Bro, what the fuck?
That's kind of nice. With now G2's A players, they've got 2 guys trying to turn around, but so far they've only are aware of the 1 player on the flank, and C9 aren't even going to commit to it.
John was in a position to try and flip the map there, but doesn't really have the soldiers to make it happen. Instead, he'll fight amid the ultimate, stunned up in a corner, and Zephyr will easily take him down. G2 have to hold the line on 2 fronts. And the pressure coming in from the flank, courtesy of Vic. That needs to be dealt with first. Leaf dances around. Time works in his favor, but he can't find the kill still. C9 need to speed this one up a little bit because Trent has all the util he could ever dream of. First half goes in. It's all Trent, but the annihilation didn't use his missiles already gone. Is there even time in this one? Mitch has to hold, and he doesn't have it already. Trying to stick his way through, but it's too far gone.
Oh no! G2 steal away that round, even though it was C9 coming in on the bad buy. And C9 spent everything on that. I think there was a harbor.
दोनों qualify हो गए ना, कुछ try कर रहे
हैं. The numbers advantage, 5v4, finding the
but
early pick.
no duelist comp is actually good in
G2
this
coming
map.
away with the round.
Actually good in this map.
Trent did play this so
Conditions
well with the
is you
timing on
need
the
double
utility. But I think it all comes down to
and
the
double
stall on
initiate.
the players flanking there. G2,
that is the only condition.
30 seconds of the spike timer away, just messing with the players on the flank, not giving them a fight. And by the time C9 even won out the duels, it was just too little, too late.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if it was C9 like playing with the flank so much as if it was just
इन्हें duelist खेलते हैं क्योंकि इसमें बहुत common angles ही है जहाँ से duelist खेलते हैं ना तो वो normal लोग भी खेल सकते हैं.
Yeah.
Back over to the
Base
spike.
rate के लिए double blind
exactly.
उसमें के लिए कर सकते.
Just no time to win.
Exactly. The spike had already been planted. Jogmo was also playing like super aggressively. Like, when was the last time you saw a Gecko up in the top left corner rafter of sight?
ये util heavy util वाला
Both
map
teams
है.
have really prioritized for C9 when they're holding the sites and G2 in the afterplan of being really disrespectful of the opponent's utility. I think you kind of need to.
तो बोला दिमाग लगाओ.
If you're letting that util cut you off, you are going to lose the objective every time. And both teams have a very clear understanding of that win condition. Unfortunately for C9, losing that eco and that key rifle.
यार मैं लेकिन देख नहीं पा रहा यार जॉगमो को गेको में.
G2 is taking control.
मेरा विंगमैन का cosplay इतना अच्छा लगा उसको.
And it looks like G2, I mean, in terms of ultimates.
We got दोनों टीम बाप है यार, कोई भी जीता है यार. दोनों टीम एक्चुअल में बाप है.
In this round if they need it.
G2 4-0 G2 अभी तक किसी से हारा नहीं है. C9 3-1 है, हारेगा तो भी फर्क नहीं है. कोई भी जीते, मजा ऐसा गेम देखने में मजा आता है.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with it.
And he's always fun.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
बस टाइमिंग थोड़ा चेंज होके दोपहर को कर देते ना मजा आ जाता.
There's a pretty fast flank, yeah.
But the thing is, G2 could potentially even try and take into Snowman control as well. Like, they've faced no resistance on the site. Now Leaf turning around to the flank.
1v3 for him. But they're just coming at this alone. That's an easy opener. Knows that there's more to come, and thankfully has some util to support.
1v3 for Leaf is another day at the office.
क्या लगता है ऑक्सी मारेगा
He
लिफ्ट
does
को?
not mind those odds. Another good one onto
नहीं
Oxy,
मारेगा.
and that's the most dangerous weapon of this round taken care of. Zeppa looking the wrong way.
Bro,
And
क्या
easy
खेला
1v3
लीफ
for
ने
the
बे?
man to lock up this anti.
भले इको था लेकिन क्या सेक्सी खेला
Another day
बे?
at the office is what I'm saying. Leaf, no problems there whatsoever. I also like
इसलिए
G2's
G2
calling
नहीं आ रही
once
chat.
Leaf is, communicating,
Huh?
hey, there's a lot of players coming in on our flank. G2 quickly fight into Snowman. I'm not sure if they had the dizzy for that or if they
बिंग्स भाई
based
थोड़ा
it on
रेस्ट ले
their
लो
own,
इसके
but
बाद रेस्ट
either
लेंगे
way,
यार क्या सीन है?
It solves
Chill
the
है.
problem. Even if you do lose the player in B main, the spike is still very easily planted for you to play back snow.
Okay, I think we have to look at this round from C9's perspective. This is their chance to reclaim control on the half. Because if
Which
they
other
lose this,
team is already
G2
qualified?
starts to
I
get a
think
spiral
सब
of
लोग
big ults, and this half slips
qualify
away.
हो चुके
Yeah, well,
हैं.
what Cena are trying to do is they're going to use this harbor wall over towards A to pretend like they're doing a
सिर्फ
little more
एनर्जी और
active
लेव में
fighting.
देखने
As
कौन
soon as you see
क्वालिफाई
Vic,
होता
though,
है.
I think G2 are going to
जो
know this is
दोनों
the
में
weaker
जीतेगा वो
side.
क्वालिफाई
They're
होगा
not even going
basically.
to bother wasting any time. Now, the thing about Vic is he can get this
बाकी
ultimate
सब
down
तो qualify हो
right at the end of the Killjoy lockdown and still not lose the gas on it by being forced away. He can get back into that very quickly and play to flood in.
You see it starting to decay down, and in goes Vic.
MIBR होगा एनर्जी रहेगा तो जरूर रहेगा मेरी जान के उल्टे.
On this side, but G2 have filled into every gap around the pit.
And G2 have to know that there's the option for him to be back here. They're leaving Jogmo to do a bit of hunting on top side too.
आसपास का मैच
Peter
देखने वाले हो?
Seen! Oh dear!
Now a
देखते,
3v5, good position for
बंदे
C9. G2 are pushed all the way back by this utility.
अभी तो
Might
एनर्जी
just
हाई
come
है.
down to the spam. Mitch finally on the defuse.
Bye,
Taking
bye,
the
good night,
missile.
good
That's first line of
night.
defense, but you're right. Gets it halfway, and that's pivotal to win this round. Stick coming through. No one there to
कर लिया
stop
वे
it.
retake.
C9 mop up the retake.
Goaters
And
के सामने
that is the
वो भी
key to
clean
success for
retake बे.
C9. You can't give G2 the free sight. You always have to have players coming in, slipping into back sight. Or the Viper ultimate there, a beautiful counter into the kill.
Clean
And there's a
retake.
proof in that round, right? You're able to give up the plant as long as you are quick enough on that flood to kill the plant or kill the players that are stuck on the site before they can escape and
W.
support the tail on the post
W.
line.
That's
Exactly.
true. That's
And you're
true.
going to continue seeing that even without the
Mimi,
ultimates coming into play.
analysis on
C9
tops.
are always going to try and have players slipping into back sight. Now this round they've switched it up so that active fight is
बस
gonna be a
रहने
little
वाला
more
squad
towards
मालूम
B
पड़ता
perhaps,
है.
but they show similar utility on A with the push wall.
New position for
One
Mitch.
kill get out वाला पोजी.
Up top on Jen. And playing these high ground positions is so strong against the Thrash. Means that ult can't do anything really.
Let's see if Net tries to get out here. I don't know if he's going to have the chance with his team flanking too. He's kind of got to be the guy to play it a little bit more slowly. Just casting the ultimate now to force the players back into the flank.
The flank calls away though. C9 dip back through mid. The Viper's pit should allow this plant to come down, but it's a game of spam.
ऐसे आधा साइड तो इनके
Zeppa
पास
has
है.
shock darts. He'll be arriving soon.
कैसे
And
plant
the longer
करेंगे?
G2 wait,
वो लोग को
stronger
B
the
ही
odds
जाना
against.
पड़ेगा.
That is if they even want to commit here.
Well, that's the thing. C9 have over-rotated into A, so now there's
I
players
think
going back
ऐसे
to B. They
wingman
don't have
फेंकेगा वो.
Killjoy utility to actually watch the B main play.
बाकी लोग B
They've
जाएंगे.
got to re-spread out onto the map. Well, where G2,
A
they've just
impossible
been
है.
waiting this whole time to use Thrash Wingman to get a cheap plant down once C9 are no longer stacking this site.
But C9 aren't sending too many bodies back.
Now Molly coming in here. That would have broken the turret had there not been a player waiting. Now that they see a player Gen, they accelerate.
Still, C9 on these high ground angles, they're immune to the Thrash. Spike is still not planted 20 seconds. Could this become a bit of a risk? The little buddy needs some protection, he needs some help, and he's done his job well.
plant हो
G2
गया, bro.
defend and get the plant down. And now the task is tough for C9. They're
Plant हो
retaking
गया.
into heavy odds and already taking casualties. A 4v2, I don't even know if they can go for this.
The fuck?
Into a Viper's pit.
It's not going to happen. Look where Vic is.
Huh?
He's trying to reset for the next round. He does not want to get involved in this whatsoever. But I think the thing for G2, even going down to 20 seconds on the clock there, C9 realistically
shot
should have been
droplet
able to
कुछ नहीं
spam
था
the
रुकने के लिए.
wingman plant, but it was a weird plant spot from the wingman. C9 are kind of pinging it on their map now. You can see it on the mini map. There's a bit of an off plant. And I don't know if the C9 players didn't hear exactly where it went down. There was a lot of utility or whatnot, but they were spamming over on the generator corner, which was just not even
stack में
close.
घुस के plant किया.
Yeah, remember when you're hearing all the bullets get spammed through, when you have the white noise in your headphones too, it can be hard to get that exactly right when it's a off-kilter plant spot. Was a very good decision though from Jaw to put it there. from the first time Gecko player.
Yeah, because if you don't get the
मेरे को
spike
सच्ची
down,
लगा वो लोग
like,
भी
G2
जाएंगे
are pretty losing ground. Like, there's
15
not...
seconds. They
Yeah,
would have
क्योंकि वो
walked
लोगों को
around
मैप
most likely.
कंट्रोल है
the
ही
Viper's
नहीं
pit only goes a fraction into the actual plantable area, so
वो
you're
लोगों
not
को
really
कुछ
getting many
स्पेस
seconds.
नहीं था बे
I'm not even aiming at you, brother.
Oh.
I would have liked someone from C9 to try
जब
and be proactive
जब
into the
तब
pit and stop that, but
तब
G2 just had too
होने
many players in
वाला
position.
है
Ready to defend. Into another though, and at least saving some gun means C9 have money here.
Yeah, both teams kind of trying to show very similar
और
utility.
बोलेगा
but Finally, we have a round where Oxy's able to sneak forward here. A bit odd. Oxy's never had money to buy an operator in this entire half of defense. And barring, I think, C9 winning the next 2 rounds pretty easily, I don't think he's going to be able to tap into that. There you go. That volley just to break the opposing volley on the other
किया
side.
बे
The alarm
मोरे
bot
डालने
was
में
there. C9 now call 3 players into the B site. Because they have this forward posting, it all comes down to Oxy and Zeppa on the
पूरा राउंड किलजे के ऊपर है चैट अगर उसने क्रेजी लर्क कर दिया
Oxy
ना
still
जीत
with the
गया वो
dash
लोग
to work with. Util heading his way, procs it, but he can't find the mark. And now pushed back by the wall.
That might
have
be
that
enough.
opportunity.
That might be
पूरा
enough
राउंड
pressure from
किलजे के
C9
ऊपर
though,
है
because hey, there could be 3 players behind that wall
कर
now.
दिया ब्रो
G2 had
खेल
used
लिया
the
भाई
flash
G2
utility to
खेल
get into
लिया
that space. They're trying to go back towards the B site, where Leaf has stepped up.
वो लोग को
Maybe
मालूम
heard
है
a
बी
player
होने वाला है
rotate off the
लेकिन
site,
कैसे
maybe not,
रोकेंगे
but all things considered, it's now
हुआ
a
है
bad
नहीं
dash into B for these teams.
Yeah, very good timing on the
30
dart back
seconds
into
left.
A. C9 practically guarantee that this is a commitment, and you see the
किलजे नहीं डाल
rotates
के रोक
coming
सकते
in.
क्या
Deep tail mollies in a wall will allow the plant to be committed. And, oh my! Wow, Vic nearly dies.
फिर इससे
Trent had
प्लांट
some
देखो
spam up
किधर
there
है
too to try and catch the player retreating.
नॉर्मल किलजे के नेड के जगह पे नहीं है प्लांट
It's very thorough stuff. And now it's the round we've seen so
भाई
many times
G2
before.
G2 कर रहा है
Former
भाई
Viper on both sides, a retake. An
Nice
early
volley
tap.
shot.
That's already Util coming in. But again, just spamming through these smokes. G2 finding success and an insurance policy ready. With that wingman heading towards the spike. Valen for another. C9 need to get on that spike now, but G2 just won't let them. Swings ready to come in from a net. Could be the
Oh,
salvation that Cloud9 needed. But it's the missiles finally arriving. He gets it halfway, but is it enough? Net, an impossible task in the 1v2, and G2 win
G2
another
winning,
round
yep,
off the
yep.
post plant.
That post-plant
Basically,
utility is
they're
just
G2.
too nasty. And the fact, too, that they're using
अपन बांडिगल हो रहे हो
volleys
उधर के
and
साथ
walls and smokes to stop C9 from getting early fights, too. It's not like C9 were late on that
Heavy
retake
खेल
or
रहा है
anything like
भाई।
that. No, they just couldn't actually see any of the G2 players until it was effectively too late.
Oxy right now sitting at 3-9 on the scoreboard.
वरुण भाई थैंक यू फॉर द 10 गिफ्टेड मेरी जान की रोटे स्ट्रीम का पहला गिफ्टेड यार पहला गिफ्टेड
lines that he loves to play, and that puts him in situations
ये
where
स्ट्रीम
he's
का
playing into losing retakes.
वरुण भाई थैंक यू सो मच फॉर द 10 गिफ्टेड चाहे जिस जिसको भी गिफ्टेड मिला है छुपा दो ठीक है और लाइक करेगा तो ही मिलेगा याद रखना
Trap play in mid, it's successful onto one.
Get that gun. G2 have to
अभी वो लोगों को
accelerate
लर्क
to
का
A
भी
side.
देखना पड़ेगा क्योंकि किलजा मर गया
Swing of things, but C9 are going to be here on the retake. There's some options now, especially with
गंदे
rifle
आदमी
rounds.
शर्म एक्सक्यूज मी
Zeppa already out backside. They're committing an ult into this, but Zeppa's gone.
क्या blind
So
मारा
too
ना?
is Mitch. I feel like they've seen this round a million times before, where C9 look like they have a chance.
Chat, I'm calling
They
it
start to
7-5
come
up.
in, but they lose the battle of attrition to G2 players holding the line. And it seems like it may be the same outcome again. Oxy the only one who can turn this around. 2v3. Util still available on the spike. He needs to kill Trent, but they're too good at protecting him. Now the missiles in Vic's face. And a 1v3 on the
इतना
cards.
पोस्ट प्लान्ड भाई अभी तू
Yeah,
का
that insult
है
to injury, it's G2 with the top side plant. Basically every round
Sand
they have the
file वगैरह।
opportunity to do so.
It's so hard to win the retake
आज
against
इतने
that
गिफ्ट में
plant.
मेरे को एक
There's
भी
like
नॉन
4 or
नंबर
5
को ही
positions
मिलता
being
रहेगा
made.
नहीं
You
ऐसा
can be
नहीं है
tucked,
रैंडम
ready with Viper Mullets, Teo
Yep.
missiles, and just a straight up swing and deny it.
Giving you all those high
नेट भी
angles,
जीटो में था लास्ट ईयर पता
so
है
much harder. It's one of the benefits, I think, of playing
फर्स्ट ब्लाइंड मारा ना
the Gecko here. Wingman.
चला हर एजेंट में
Easy
कैसे
ability
अच्छा
to
खेलता है
plant up
जाओगे
on that
वो
top site. Also just giving yourself another rifle to
Go
fight
take out
if
me,
enemy team
eh?
is trying to flood into you. There's no better agent to have, I
फिर से
think,
उल्टा गया
than
उसके
Gecko
पास
to be planting and have 5 players with rifles, guns out, Mosh to deny the flood as well.
Now roll over that.
And it'll finally be an
और
Oxy
स्नैप का
round.
क्या बेटी है रिफ्रेश कर देगा
In
उस
the
स्नैप
last
को
round of the game. And it's the same volley of Util. as it's just a straight up crash into B.
Yeah.
Hard hit over towards this side. They've circumvented this operator completely, and that's a tag. Is there a follow-up though?
No,
Should
there's
be
no
protection
duelist.
here.
You can't go flying in there.
Yeah. So for the moment, the life stays back B. Or at least 2 members of C9. But look how much space G2 get.
Yeah, C9 have no map control either. Like their mid is kind of
एक
capped right
बार
now too.
प्लान नहीं
They're
रुका पा
worried about
रहे।
late flanks going in. They're dying back. Snow.
क्योंकि वो लोग बहुत
Every
अजीब
round,
जगह प्लान
Judgmo is
कर रहे
killing
भाई।
someone as the plant is coming down.
Man.
And it's another 4v5 retake for Cloud9. They have an ultimate, they have some chances, but they need to win these fights quickly. And Oxy, could he be the man to do it? Trades away the operator into the rifle, but he's traded out so swiftly. Now a lockdown into play.
बैठने पड़ेगा।
Desperation to try and hold on to this one.
Only way is to stick.
He hops off it. Spam's good from Trent, and in the 1v1, the lockdown. Could it be good enough? Zeppa tucks away. Trent, a new weapon, but time so far gone. It's halfway. It's halfway. Trent needs the swing, and just in the nick of time.
बोला था ना 4-8 होएगा।
For the first time seeing these two teams play Icebox all year, I'll tell you, G2 are looking real nice out there. Excellent in the post plans, calling around C9's game plan pretty nicely as well. It's just another one of these post plans that C9 have no real chance in. You said it. I mean, Jogamo, every single time the spike goes down.
It's literally infallible thus far from Jogamo. C9, we'll see what they have prepared on their attack as we return.
Half-time pausa.
Oof, stuck paying for that old phone? Don't be.
Welcome करने दो।
At Verizon, we'll pay off your phone.
Welcome new Goaters.
16 on us. That's a value of up to $1,600 only on Verizon.
Goda here, Malik. Ten. Pam. Pam. Boom bam. Pam. Boom bam. Pam. Boom. आज हार्बर बहुत देखने मिल रहा है। हार्बर बहुत अच्छा एजेंट है, बट एज अ सेकंड कंट्रोलर क्यों 2 वॉल के साथ कैसे खेलते हैं ना एक साथ, वो वहाँ पे बहुत प्लेस बन सकते हैं, वहाँ पे कुकिंग वाला प्लेस बन सकता है, फिर वॉल पुश करके एक वॉल से लड़ सकते हैं, या फिर दोनों वॉल पुश कर सकते हैं।
Is that the Lorax?
Yeah.
Hi, Lorax.
I like that there's just one light on the Lorax.
Yeah.
And they're the only member of the crowd we can really
Second
see.
controller.
Anyways, tell me a story meme. You were saying it's like the first time these teams are playing Icebox, or?
I don't remember.
But you have to do it in rhyme.
I'm
like
thinking about the trees.
I see. Aren't we all? I mean, honestly.
Hi, Bugs by depressed too. क्या हो गया बस
भाई? I'll tell you a story about Oxy.
क्या हो गया बता?
Tough first half. Not gonna lie, but now on the attacking side of things, the only duelist in the game. It's time for him to show up.
लाइफ में तीन ही चीज के वजह से स्ट्रेस आ सकती है। ट्रिपल एफ, फाइनेंस, फैमिली या फियांसे।
From the 3 members of G2 in mid, and already they're working their way.
अगर स्ट्रीमर हो तो फाफी फेट।
Snowman.
Hey, we heard in the pre-show, Jonah P plays smart, plays safe, but now there's players running at him in snow. Got a teammate up heaven, he's swinging through the wall. Look at this guy go! 2 kills already, and the rest of G2, the cavalry's arrived.
Strong लग
It's
रहा है
not
यार।
safe, but it's good from G2. This flood is so quick, and already C9 are gone. Good night, G2. Immediately assert control of B.
That is crazy. Jonah P with
आपका
the 2-piece right there. The rest of the team showing up in a big way too. I don't know if you saw, G2 bought 4 light armors headed into that round. 2 of the players didn't even take damage. They had bought the armors. They're all getting big upgrades, saving on the creds as well.
इससे बड़ा
And just holding against this aggression quite nicely.
कोई ना, कभी-कभी देखेंगे.
Remember, the first half was 8-4 despite G2 losing
मैं रुका
the
था कोई
pistol.
पूछने के लिए. Love
Now
you
in the
यार
second
गोड़ा.
half, they get a pistol. This is likely going to be a
बंदा भूख
10-4
लगी है क्या? नहीं
scoreline.
रे, बहुत खाना खाया आज.
Easy orb pickup as well. Nice shots from Oxy, but Jaws
Ah.
here, not enough bullets. He's gonna
Classical
switch
dude.
over to the classic. That's no problem.
He's going to keep fighting.
मेरे को
This guy.
सच्ची लगा
just keep
कूद के
coming at
मारेगा
him and it's
ऑक्सी
not
को
working.
ऊपर.
It's wild because this is the first time Jajimo has played an initiator this year. His first time playing.
He can play initiator, he can juggle, he can shoot. What can he do?
Doesn't seem to be anything.
उसमें भी हेडशॉट का है बीच यार.
Okay, buddy, no spike for you. Maybe a free kill. Please,
Oh.
please finish the job. Oh, God.
Look away, look
It was
away.
just a classic, guys. Avert your eyes.
That wasn't the one we cared about. This next one, this is the big one. It's worth pointing out too, I
आज तो
feel like.
60 के मिला कहाँ से
Even
रे?
been a map that C9 have
150
shied
मेंबरशिप
away
गिफ्ट
from a little
किया.
bit.
टैक्स भरना पड़ेगा.
If they can make it to map 3
Entertainment
Pearl,
tax,
that's one
YouTube
G2
tax.
lost a couple times in a row. C9 have been looking extremely hot
शादी
on.
tax.
Just think back to their match against FURIA for
एंड
sure.
में क्या पाया मैं? गार्लिक ब्रेड.
When I eye this series, I kind of need them to
समझो.
take Icebox. This was their pick coming into today.
अरे भाई ये वासु क्यों साइड है? वो
Another
तो
map
बताओ
to find
वासु.
out their pool, but
बक्से में भूल गए
CFP
बंदे
is a
सारे.
better look for them this time around.
And he wanted to show everything they
Error
have,
आ रहे तो
try and
GG
know
ना, मैं
what's
जल्दी
good
खत्म हो
heading
गया
into
मैप का.
playoffs. That's why it's been a bit of a humbling coming from G2. C9 love buying their regen shields, but against the Outlaw, they've respected it. 3 members bought full shield here.
Yeah, G2 threw that wall up, and C9 actually not even waiting it out. They've gotten through the Viper Orb, gotten through the wall, now some spam, that's the Outlaw dealt with. And they can keep trying to push
Sammy
forward
भाई
into this
thank
tight
you for
space.
becoming 7
2 players just on the other side
7
of the wall.
member
Oh,
मेरी
Oxy.
जान के
Oh,
टूटे.
Oxy, he's getting
going
cute
for
with
it.
it.
Pushing in, util in hand for Jajimo. What timing does he pick? Here's the drone coming through, looking every which way. A dizzy in his face, a swing from John. It's over for young Oxy. 4v4
क्या
now.
बंदा है वे
Zeppa.
जोगमो.
Stuck in a tough position here, but C9, they've bought
भाई
a
वो
lot
लोग
of
तो
time.
ज़्यादा
They'll
ही
fall back
टाइम नहीं ले रहे
into
लेकिन.
post plant positions. But in comes the util. The forces from G2. Can C9
कैसे
win
जीतेंगे
out the
round? ये
team
round तो
fight?
गया.
They need it now. The trades have to come through as Jaw begins to hold the Cove in play. And
Net's
Valen,
not there.
he's holding it alone in net. Too late. Too long gone. The defuse is in. G2, they win the bonus.
Oh dear, it's
साथ हो
falling
गए.
apart.
Love you यार सैमी भाई.
I mean, Oxy is just
मैं
getting
actually
owned
सात
by
पांच दोस्त
utility.
का बात
He
कर रहा
finds his
था.
timing
Just in
up
case
into
you want
heaven,
to
and then
upgrade.
it's the Teo drone that spots him out.
हाँ?
Then
बड़ा ताला भाई
Joglo
बन
comes
सकते
in,
तुम. बड़ा
takes
ताला
him
भाई.
down.
Stun swung by 2 players.
I mean, let's talk about the work that Jaw did in that round, because it's also Wingman defusing the spike. This late
बे,
round doesn't
कौवा
work
buff.
because G2 are able to
कौवा
get
buff
the spike
है.
way faster than they'd be able to do with any other agents.
मैं bully कर रहे हैं ये लोग तो.
That combo, the Cove and the Wingman.
भाई
So
इतना
much pressure
strong
on
है क्या
any team
जीतू
trying
भाई?
to hold down the
Ascension
spike
team है
and-
भाई.
You kind of I think, saw
Ascension
the
से आई
lack of
है.
that in
ये
the first
और
half for
boom.
C9. They never were
और
able to
दोनों
have someone
पहले
on the
जा रहे
spike
हैं भाई.
before they were already kind of deep in the brawls. Not the case
हाँ?
for G2, at least in that round.
It's really interesting watching G2 play this map again, because I'm trying to remember like what this map actually looked like for them.
पापा
last
जान
year.
Last
लेंगे,
time they
sorry
played
यार.
G2, they were locking Reyna on Oxy.
Yeah,
Love you,
I
यार.
mean the
At
C9
least you
comp was
tried.
wild back then, but G2
Entrance
playing
exams
just
and
a
family
Teo instead of
pressure.
Sova.
मैंने
Like,
अपना
I feel
बेस्ट
like the
दिया है
way
भाई. यही मैटर करता है. तुम लाइफ में अपना बेस्ट दो और लीव करो रेस्ट पे. जो होएगा देखा जाएगा. कम मार्क्स मिले सॉरी बोलने का, फिर से पढ़ाई कर. समझ रहे? गर्लफ्रेंड छोड़ के चली गई सॉरी बोलने का, दूसरी गर्लफ्रेंड पटा. समझ रहे? फैमिली वाले गाली दे रहे सॉरी बोलने का, फिर से गाली खाने का, वो दूसरा नहीं ढूंढ सकता. तो हर एक का ऑप्शन है. You have to live with it. There is nothing to getting stressed about here. गाने वाने सुनो. Slow soothing songs. ऐसा सर्च करो, एकदम calm down हो, baby calm down वाले गाने सुनो, पैंच एंजॉय करो यार लाइफ. एंजॉय करो.
Rewrap. Not sure if I'm such a fan of that.
पोल डालो,
personally, man.
11th for है क्या पोल डालो?
Some slight adjustments could give C9 a shot, assuming they're able to turn this round into something.
Teo drone spots out a couple players over towards B. That'll draw at least 2 more reinforcements headed this way.
like
और
how
मैं
he
चढ़ के
tried
गए
to
उसको
push
सॉरी
it
को बोल
to
देंगे सॉरी तुझे बताया
shot,
करके
throw down the stun, have your teammate swing off.
टॉन्ट
Same
वाला
site, but G2 quick to fall off the early angles. This is worth pointing out.
कौन सा
C9
वापस आने
4
वाले
light
उससे एक
armors
दो
and
टॉन्ट मार
Jogmo with an outlaw, so post plant could be brutal for C9, or if they move back into Jaw in the mid round.
Either way, though, if they hit back into A, it's Killjoy Util, it's Jojimo holding that space. And no matter what happens here, Valen has an ultimate for the retake.
वाइफ को
Oh,
सॉरी
C9
बोल
are gonna
सकते
try
हैं
and
वो
sell
रोज
an
बोलना
A fake
पड़ता
here.
दिन का कोटा
Making
रहता
a
नहीं
lot
बोला
of
तो
noise
लग
going
जाता
through mid. Now they'll have the Harbor to maybe even throw the ultimate in here.
मेरा ऐसा
Send
37
Harbor and
times
the Jet into the A site while they slip into B. But it activates too quickly.
And that re-clear is too perfect from Jonah. Now they're using the ultimate.
चलो
This is
A
still a
fake
fake.
करके
The
भी
spike
जा
is
रहे हैं लेकिन
practically alone back towards B. They're all the way into the site here.
Where are we?
नहीं
Where are we
स्क्रीन से
going?
I'm not quite sure, but
भाई वो
we've got
नेट
a
से
kill
मारा
with the Nano Swarm on A.
And
क्योंकि राइट
C9
साइड
are
कूदा
now
हुआ
trying to amble into B with 20 seconds left.
Leap
Leap.
hears all of this.
अभी वो लोग
Like,
को
this
पता
round
भी
is
है
just a
भी हो रहा
disaster
है
from
oh my
Cloud9.
It's
god
cooked. 10 seconds.
भाई C9 का मैप
4
तो
players
चैट
here ready to stop the plant. You better save. Make the economic choice. They're doing it. G2 make it to 12.
I mean, look, Mimi,
ये
I
सच
don't
में बोलता है कि
hate the
obviously
call
भाई
for C9 to try and fake a site hit, especially when the original intent was to actually send the Jet
You
in.
need to know how someone died to the molly on A.
Well, yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know, and I don't want to know. My big gripe in that round is that your back yellow player can't be dying.
क्या हो
there.
गया जय
The B players from C9 had
मेरा
to be
Oxy?
completely silent on that side of the map. Otherwise, it just falls apart, especially if you're dying.
आज
It's just
मेरा भी दिन
not
नहीं
gonna
था भाई
happen.
आज वो है लेजेंड्स
8
आर
rounds in a
चिलिंग
row
आज
unanswered for G2.
जिस गेम में पैसा दिया वही गेम मारा मैंने आज
Okay.
मिमी जी मेरे जोक्स पे मत हंसो प्लीज
Wasn't for you.
Interesting comms from Viper is all I'm going to say. C9 will be moving back towards
G2 के
A,
सामने
where
हर बार
for a
चोक
moment
करते
Jogmo
बड़े
was
बड़े टीम चोक
considering
करते भाई
buying an
G2 के
operator.
सामने
He ended
भाई
up selling it.
औरा हो गया है भाई
Being a
G2
good
पता
little boy
नहीं
on the
बे
get-go.
हर चीज पे टॉप गेमिंग में भी बैंटर
Still
में भी
G2 have 4 players right on
भरते
retake.
रहते
They
हैं भाई
pushed Jonah
सब तो।
P all the way through B. G2 have full knowledge of this site hit about to come in.
Jojimo falls away from the upper angle. And the cavalry is ready to go.
Oh, we've
Full
got
flood out from heaven with the harbor ult.
the
जैसे
second
प्लान
spike is
सुना
planted, I think. Yep, there we go.
Missiles, ultimate, everything headed on in.
There's goop in everyone's eyes.
C9 don't even get the plant.
They don't even get to play Mimi, I don't think.
वे
50
लोग
seconds
को
already. and
वापस
look
रिक्लेयर करना
where
पड़ेगा सारा
Jonah P
एंगल्स
is.
Yeah, he's been pushed up here the whole round, just waiting for C9 to get cold feet and rotate back into him. Now we've had the second harbor wall come up. When that goes down, the gas is going to be able to go up again. C9 are not getting into sight unless they risk it all and push through.
30 seconds left.
Feels like we are just bowling towards a bit
Harbor
of a
क्यों
massacre
गया
on the site
return
के?
unless C9 get a lucky kill. Net on the spam. Oxy trades positively, but Lee
Oh,
trying to hold the
almost.
line can't actually
यार
keep
वैलेंस
his
को गया
job.
रिटर्न लेके
And suddenly, this round flipped on its head.
Standing.
A
फिर
1v2
से
for
हेडशॉट
Jonah
मारा
P.
भी
Zeppa on 5 HP though. Mitch with a bulldog.
2-1v1
Considering
से
the fight
चैट
just yet, finally. Mitch will turn back.
But they're separating.
On high, Jonah spotted. A reposition from Zeppa is good. And time.
2-1v1
Not a lot of it left for Jonah.
उनका
Spike
प्लान
not
भी नहीं
planted
है
for them though. First tap, double swing, and the dink. Not enough to win the round.
C9 have 6 HP across 2 players to win that round.
God.
But
Not
what
even
did they do?
close.
क्या HP है ये
It's down to the wire. I think, yeah, that dart
One.
landing on Jogmo saved this round for Cloud9.
मार के
'Cause I think
ऊपर फ्लिक मारता
other
था
3 players from C9 had all been hit by the Dizzy. So if they're not able to scale up quickly on Jaw, Jaw brings in his teammates. The crossfires would have been too much.
हाँ ए
Now
भाई
C9 finally stepping into a round with some heavy armors, with a couple of ultimates, but now it's time for
मेरा
Jogmo to
हाथ
pick
बढ़
up
रहा
that
है।
up.
Get out of my way.
He's back rafter with it for now.
Spotted one.
एक पड़ी
And
Off
here's
B,
the
eh?
operator on Jojimo as well.
Dude, how are we just always getting up into B main? G2.
ये छोड़
allowing
रहे
Jonah
ना
P to get active so they can hard stack into A.
Jonah loves long walks on the B site.
Oh, Jaw. Are we really going for this?
He's sticking around. runs away and actually knows the timing perfectly.
Not even
Ult
close.
marega.
I mean, still, C9 will be able to plant the spike. Even as G2 try to flood on in here, the missiles coming on through. Jaw, this Stark as well, not finding anything so far.
Net's in a devious
Oh
spot,
shit.
but G2 still have a lot of forces
Killjoy
to win
clear
this
होने वाला है.
retake. And Trent's already gotten
Uzi
a
ने
kill.
पसंद
Big
नहीं.
up top though. That's a great shot from him. And time being bought. G2 though, arriving in force and trading out on this site. They leave it down to the IGL, but there's so much facing against him. And G2 back on Icebox for the first time this year.
कितना प्यारा
Show
खेलते हैं
off
ना
the
यार
map,
G2.
13-5.
Look at little bro
Huh?
defusing that thing, just too calm with it.
कितना प्यारा खेलते हैं बे
Great
G2.
opening map there
Clean,
from
bro.
G2.
भाई जर्सी
Coming
है
into this
जर्सी अच्छा
one
है ये वाला.
undefeated and looking to go out
भाई दोनों औरा वाला
both
जर्सी है
groups
बे.
with a 5-0 record, 13-5 against C9 to kick it off
हाँ
on
दोनों
their
औरा
map
वाला
pick.
जर्सी है.
Certainly the way to do it, Mimi.
It's nice to see Leaf back on this map. I feel like he's always been such a good player on
लेकिन
Icebox.
अपने सामने कुछ भी नहीं
On
है.
any
जैसे
map,
Defense,
really, but
yeah.
especially Icebox.
I would agree with that statement, but G2 looking strong here. For C9, that was
एक
their
सेकंड में
map
सोल्ड वन
choice.
बोलते.
Puts him in a bit of a tough position for the rest of this series.
विजय स्लैन पे आओ कोलकाता में
Going
कैसे
back
रे
through some of these
बाबा.
moments, I
कोई
mean,
जानता भी नहीं रहेगा मेरे को आपको पता है.
G2 sort of had C9's number from the get-go. C9 kept trying to go on defense for these fast bloods on out,
पहले का टाइम बात
but
अलग
every
था जब
single
मैं कम
post
कर
plan
रहा था.
was just going
तब
G2's
प्लेन में
way,
बुलाते. ए
fighting
बंस
up really actively.
Yeah, Jojo
किधर
winning
जा
out in
रहे हो?
every one of these
कोचिंग
first
की? मैं नहीं आने
engagements.
वाला
G2,
उधर.
They look
खाली
strong.
कर
It's
दोगे आप.
13-5 to start out
अभी
this
ऐसा नहीं
series,
है.
but there's more to come as G2 grab the
ए
ball. on
लौड़े
Haven.
किधर आ रहा
Up
है ऐसा.
next.
Bro has fallen off यार. शेड्यूल 1 कब? ये एनए के बाद अलग से शेड्यूल करके तेरे को गाली दूंगा. I know you bro, I am from कोलकाता. सच्ची love you यार. चैट पढ़ मेरी. क्यों? तू है मेरी पेरी पेरी. बाकी लोग का नहीं पढ़ूं मैं. खास दोस्त रहता तो फिर इग्नोर नहीं होता. G2 में सब टीबोन जैसे बहुत सड़ी के ऐसा कमेंट करके बोलता है चैट पढ़ करके. गांडो छे तमने.
Red Bull gives you wings.
C9 में लड़की कौन है? पहले अपने लड़की पे ध्यान दो भाई. मिल रही है कि नहीं मिल रही है? सब जगह लड़कियां ढूंढ रही हो भिक्षु. रात का टाइम है, ऑक्सीजन कम है. रूट स्ट्रीमर इज बैक. देखो टेक्निकली देखा जाए तो ये में स्ट्रीम काम स्ट्रीमर था. काम स्ट्रीमर एने रूट स्ट्रीमर. बिंक्स भाई शादी कर लो. शादी बहुत प्यारा चीज है, करना चाहिए. ओ बेगे पानी लेके आ. आए मैं चाय लेके चल. एट योर ओन रिस्क करना शादी, ठीक है? 17 में नहीं रहे दोस्ती के 27 में करो.
Just waiting for the first wave of Util to flood back out, but Valen is just ready!
Valen!
Prize able to find one, but Vic, you're fighting like a heli on the sides! What an ace out of nowhere, Vic!
I'm here with Josh RT before map 2. You bring out a new composition for Icebox, and it just looks like the team can play anything. Talk to me what that is like. What's that about?
It's honestly like a dream come true as a coach. Like, I demand flexibility from the players, and we got players that are flexible. They enjoy trying to play new comps and trying to like put the opponents on their like on the wrong read and just have them adapt to us. So it's nice to have a comp that just like surprises the other team.
Do you feel like you can put them on anything and they'll go out there and prosper?
Yeah, within reason. I think you still need a few scrims to get them like under control a little bit, but yeah.
Awesome insight. Thanks, Josh. Good luck in the game.
Thank you.
Yeah, this wasn't just the first time we've seen this composition on Icebox. This was the first time in competitive Valorant we got to see the composition G2 was playing. So obviously, Cloud9, they had to figure out what to do against it.
Yeah, and I think they did struggle in those first few rounds, especially, in the later half of the attack side. You know, playing against a comp like that where there is no duelist, they're going to be taking a bit slower, but they have so much util to be able to do that. In their execs, they constantly had like first wave, second wave into a post plant, which still had so much valuable util. You know, all the mollies. I think they had 4 mollies.
Yeah.
4 mollies plus the tail utils, which is missiles, all things like that.
That's the thing, too. If you want to piggyback on the util, you look at this composition overall, and you're like, hey, they're not playing a Sova. How do you actually stop players at getting information on defense trying to push forward at that spot? Already with a Teo coming in, it replaces this recon dart, shock dart, and also Viper combination to stop player from moving towards the orb. So they have great phase 1, kind of like a cruise style, to take control of pipes at the very beginning. Then you have the good old classic G2 rounds where they're going to slow things down. They're going to try to find the information, manipulate the map, utilize Valen's big brain to really call out the second wave of how they want to re-hit, and they did that perfectly. Yes, it came like huge battles in between from like these retakes from C9, but overall still look pretty good on this new approach that we saw from G2.
No, for sure. And even like you could say that there's like a lack of the Sova, but the Teo replaces that.
Exactly, yeah.
You honestly don't need to know where they are if you're already canceling out all the positions that they could be in with the missiles, with the mollies, everything like that. Like every basic angle that, you know, you see normal like oppers peeking on defense icebox was pushed out, mollied out, missiled out.
That's a great point. I feel that's something that was missing from C9. Maybe trying to get Oxy on that op line with the generator in the first place, right? And I felt like it was also a good job by G2 to keep that economy very low against Cloud9 when they took the attack side. And once you see this composition that comes out of G2 that has no duelists, it's because they have a Gecko. So you could just have your wingmen throw forward into a plant where they want it at a default spot or at the top of the A site. And you could have just players behind, guns out, getting ready to trade out against the wingman. And then all that post-plant utility that's still available, refreshable as well with the Teo. It's still very good on paper of what this composition could bring.
I want to talk more about the Teo because we were hitting on that, obviously, heading into this match, that we've seen Trent exclusively playing Teo, and he's not stopping now, and he's still putting up those numbers, even in a very unconventional composition.
Yeah, no, I guess Teo can really be used on every map, and I can't wait to go home and see insta-lock Teos on every single map in ranked. It'll be so fun.
Yeah, we've seen it work for a couple of teams before in the past as well on this map. The MEA is using some Teo as well, but just Trent himself has been a saving grace also for G2. Maybe he's not going to be putting up those big numbers on this map, at least that we know Trent could usually do, especially when he plays a Sova. But there was 2 crucial rounds coming out from Trent that saved it over for the side of G2, simply because he stayed alive, simply because he had salvos up, simply because he even had Armageddon when it was like a 3 versus 1, and he delays enough to allow G2 to win off time and also break the economy of C9. I think that was the round 7 or 8, something like that, when you tried to go for that retake on the side of C9. And Trent, again, just a thorn on the side of C9.
Absolutely. I'm excited though. I mean, obviously this Icebox was Cloud9's map pick. Now we're heading into Haven, and we will be talking about that in just a little bit. But first, we're heading over back to Imi and Riff and hear what he has to say ahead of this next map.
I'm here with Imi ahead of map 2. You're going to G2's pick, but looking at Icebox, what was preventing the team from getting going there, and what would you like to see change the most going into game 2?
I mean, it's like the third time we played these now. It's the same story. G2 win games before the other team's even connected to the server because they just get so much respect. That's what I just told them. No matter what happens when we go into the next one, we don't show them respect. If they try to take somewhere, we fight them for it. And stop just giving them space for free.
All right, Imi, thanks for the insight. Good luck.
That was a little scary.
I love that.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
confidence
that.
you have to have because we're heading to Haven.
Okay,
Haven,
okay,
a
chill out,
map that
chill out,
G2 is still undefeated on. And Cloud9 just recently lost it against MIBR.
Yeah, exactly. And for this map, Haven is a composition that's very standard as well for C9, unless they come up with something new. But a Breach Sova with a Jet, and that's perfect for them wanting to fight as much as they want against G2, hopefully following the game plan of Amy here.
G2 has been playing exactly the same composition every time they went to Haven. You expect them to have a little bit of a switch up here too, or no more surprises?
I mean, they like I said, they're undefeated. I don't think they're going to switch anything up, but I think this could be a map where C9 could, bring themselves back into this if they follow what their coach is saying. Don't respect them at all. Take the space that you want. Take the fights that you want. I think, C9 could bring it through.
Yeah, and I mean, there is a lot of tape on G2 as they have been playing that map quite a lot, and they always play the same composition. So maybe they cooked something up to counter that. We'll find out after a short break, so don't go anywhere.
रुको कोशिश कर रहा हूँ
Well, we're about to get into map 2 of this series. G2, they were dominant to start on Icebox, and it doesn't feel that different going into Haven, because this is a map that they are yet to lose this year. C9, I mean, they've been good on it. They are coming off a loss, but it was against MIBR, who I think did beat G2 on this map as well.
I appreciate the things you're saying, right? They make
I'm saying
logical
a lot of
sense.
things,
They make logical sense, but to me it does feel different because Imi just rolled up on the stage after giving a pep talk to his team saying, don't respect G2 at all. So, okay, I want to see what C9 come in with here. Obviously the comps, it's going to be the normal stuff. Nothing's going to change there, but an attitude shift from C9, I could certainly get behind.
Do you believe in the vibe shift? Will it work to just disrespect G2?
Whoa. I never said it was going to work, Mimi. Okay. I never once claimed that.
Sorry.
It could.
And that's the beautiful thing.
A lot of things could work.
Right?
Like
eggs and mustard. Could that work?
Probably not.
I think that could work.
Probably not. Stick to Cholula, buddy.
The Lorax and VCT. It works.
That one does work.
We've got the Lorax in the crowd.
They are here today. But no surprise to C9 go back to the default comp that they've been playing on this map. I want to see more from Oxy this game. He had a bit of a rough one on Icebox. He was getting kind of bullied by utility. When we switch to defense, I need to see an AWP in his hands early. That's such a win con for them when they play this map.
Yep. Use those lines big time. We're going to be heading on into Haven here. Oxy's kicking things off with the Sheriff.
If G2 win this map, they're your #1 seed out of their group. They'd be just a match away from Toronto. And it's a fight in mid to start. Jaw, not fast enough to TP out, but the trade, it's good from Joe B, and they stay even in the 4v4.
Seen G2 run rounds like this a few times. The buddy system now paranoid backside, but already Leaf trying to assist out on this fight. C9.
I mean, they took Imi's word for it. Straight up disrespecting to be on this pistol round. G2 might just do the same, flooding back through this smoke already, picking up 2 kills and evening out this round.
Net को उसका एक एंगल देखना पड़ेगा.
Oxy,
जीत गया.
he's playing the same game of chicken. Net spotted out, shots whiffing, but Oxy, he's got his teammates back. And now it comes down to the Deo himself, a 1v2, but missiles. If he susses Net out in this corner, the missiles could be deadly. And it's perfect. Net, doesn't matter. Fire. Still gets his kill.
Obviously the reaction on Net there. This guy who's been popping off the last few weeks.
I want C9 to win and look what G2 to lose.
A year ago.
Picking
off Thistle in a big way. I mean, this round you talk about no respect, no smoke on A-Link. We're jumping into backside, no problem from C9. Still, it's that there.
Hi, Binks. Good morning. Good morning, मेरी जान के
Getting the job done. Okay, a little bit more strained out of Net, keeping it calm.
Let's go.
But he'll eat up. Don't you worry.
C9 won their pistol round in the first half of Icebox as well, so another good start at the beginning of a map.
2-0 नहीं देखने का, थोड़ा ऑक्सी पावर देखने का.
Little 1-2 setup from G2 here. Jump on through.
I love how often Giacomo uses his TPs for scouting.
Giacomo as a Sova drone.
Poor drone is a little lower on health because of it. Exec is getting stalled for a moment. That should give some time for a couple players to flood in, and Noxy running gun, double with the stinger. Not a care in the world.
Excuse me.
It's the vibe shift. The disrespect, full running gun. Okay. We'll see if this maintains round 3, round 4.
Sure.
That's where, you know, things might.
Perfect bounce back at chatty. Love you. Yeah.
For sure. I just want to see how G2 continue to play here. If it's going to be
Excuse
more, an A
me.
default setup. That round, they're using the stun and missile immediately into the lobby space. A lot of times, G2 will just elect to hold
4:30 तक stream देखूंगा, फिर running करने जाऊंगा. 4:30 बजे running करते हैं तो?
The A side or into garage and sort of position Jonah P.
I'll fear no man.
There you go. That's the aggression.
Yep.
And it's going to be quick again. Ready for a pop towards C.
But G2 are just going to play full retake here. Again, Jonah P didn't actually use the stun into the A space. They're droning it now. G2 taking their sweet time, making sure there's not going to be any lurks coming in on that side of the map before gearing up for this C space.
Bro.
C9 want to fight into garage. And
Bro.
they're successful for one, actually trading out favorably.
Bro. क्या bait place कर रहे bro?
Into the site, and the missiles in their face become a problem.
Bro.
The fight is good, and C9 excellence in the brawl. And they are taking Imi's words to heart.
Window blind दिया ताकि window से कोई garage वाले को ना मारे और garage वाले ने pick करके मारा फिर वो दोनों निकल गए फिर window वाले को ये लोग ने pick करना इसकी हैंड
Once C9 get themselves on
भाई
the site.
सिनेमा चल रही है भाई.
Playing offside, playing long, playing time, etc. No, they fight into the garage.
अब बस आरवे की तैयारी चल रही है full last attempt पे. Love you यार.
Into garage.
अच्छा काम कर रहे हो, अच्छा काम कर.
Deal with that player and just sort of stop G2 before they can gear up for that 5-player retake.
Working late night on personal projects, but उतना results नहीं दिख रहा. क्या success मिलेगा? Results अगर देखते रहोगे तो कभी success नहीं मिलेगा.
Start this game, trying to make something happen with his signature bucket.
और results नहीं देखोगे तो भी नहीं मिलेगा. Basically life के लोड़े लगने वाले.
Could put it that way.
मेरे को देखो, कब से मैं 5 million के बारे में सोचा नहीं हुआ. कभी मैं नहीं सोच रहा 5 million के बारे में तो भी नहीं हो रहा. Example सामने तुम्हारे.
Their weak side of the map just becomes a Vi's util farm. Unless they start preempting the rotates with your TPs, they're not going to be here to instantly snap on the retake.
I'm waiting for the
team
that
what's your
comes
command
up
for
with like a
PC
shock
specs?
dart lineup to
Mods
deal with that
इतने सारे mods.
G2 is always kind of putting up on the wall there towards the long.
Yeah, the boosted one is cringe. Why does it work like that? No one really knows. There's the missile combo though.
Traded out nicely. G2, okay. Jojo gets one with the pistol. Could this get dangerous? Not. C9 spraying down. They'll hold the funnel strong. And only one member lost on their route to 4-0.
And look, C9, yeah, that's they're coming in. But now they've got some serious ultimates, right? Breach ult to get into a site. Oxy has the knives if he wants as well. Not that G2 are so far behind, but C9 can keep this ball rolling. And I think if they realize that they're hitting into the weak side again for G2, there's options where they can just hold the breach ult for the post plant and keep fighting actively into garage and C-Link.
Similar setup to the pistol round for G2.
लोगों ने गलत मैप पिक्स लिए लग रहा है.
2 garage 2B. This time 3B with that fault line set up on back site just to go off the contact. Can also respond to where Valen is in garage pretty quickly.
Off your feet!
Rolling Thunder, Valen cannot avoid that one. He's launched straight into the air. And it's easy pickings for Mitch. That's the
okay, the pitch though.
Oh,
look at this.
The util combo.
Yeah, G2 stepping out of front B, forcing the players into
that
line.
Aftershock से कैसे मरा?
But Trent is here way quicker. There's no way Oxy is expecting it. Now G2 with numbers.
Still, the site will be taken for Cloud9, but G2, they're going to be really fast to work back through this. Smoke fading towards Spawn, Leaf ready on the duel. And now C9 have to try and find some fight. Jojimo is teleported into the site. No one was looking at him, and
क्या कर रहे हैं लोग?
takes control.
आ गया अबे duelist
Of a
अपना.
TP to take from Jaw.
अपना duelist आ गया.
Okay, Jaw. Want to see that one more
Duelist
time?
आ गया chat.
G2 had the numbers. And what a good call from them, again, by having 3 players in
भाई
mid. See how
क्योंकि
much
कला
more
तो stream पे
responsive
हो
they are
हर
when the
शो.
C-hit comes in. Because it's the opening
क्या
pick
भाई
from
क्योंकि
Cloud9
चल
from
रहा है भाई?
Blast coming out of the Tejo ult into this.
Hello?
Flashing himself into the corner with his
Tinder
teammates
हो रहा है
coming
chat.
on through too. That was
Fees
nice
लगता है
from
भाई
G2.
premium.
Lorax is loving that round. G2
आपका
finally on
यूरो
the
गेम
board this game.
same है same.
And they're going to have some ults to start to snowball this, but so too have
Hide
Cloud9
दे
and
दो.
theirs.
पहला वार्निंग है माफ कर देते हैं. Already आज बेचारा केला
Pretty
हाइड
much
का है.
blind, I think just off a dart there, and it's not going to find anything.
Uh-oh. Look at the player in the corner there. Oxy double! Not going to go up into heaven, but still Leaf is waiting in the corner on short.
And he's gone already. Oxy spinning around again! Finds 3 kills this round!
क्या
And as soon
मारा
as
बे ऑक्सी ने.
the G2 are taking control. C9 answer back.
हाँ?
It's really nice calling from C9. Just the round before, they realized G2 had moved into a new default setup, which is going to be
Crazy,
much
na?
more about playing for the mid space and responding
Green shot
across
देखो
the map.
टप
So
टप.
they don't even hesitate, even going into the
दूसरा
fives,
shot. Oh!
flying into this side. Quick reactions from Oxy. I mean, it wouldn't work if Oxy wasn't hitting those shots. Let's be clear.
Let's go, baby.
G2 called
क्या
that first stun
shot
out of the
था
stun. I
भाई
think the first
वो.
stun of the series. To try and stem the bleeding here. Now down
भाई मैं
5
सो
to 1.
जा यार कल से
And
देख लो
look,
कोई सीन
G2,
नहीं.
they've got 4 ultimates, but they've got absolutely no money. I still think
Same
G2
मेरे जैसा
would
body.
be well served to continue playing around the mid space and responding into A. I think honestly they just had a tough round and got dipped a little bit by Oxy.
अभी अटैकिंग मैप पे 210 का कमबैक हो सकता है.
into the A lobby early on if they wanted to
210
set up
थोड़ा
a
ज़्यादा हो
teleport,
गया क्योंकि
so,
alt rotation और
Jaw could actually play into
crazy
A long
place से
with
भी round
stun
निकल
as an
सकता है ना.
option and
Attacking map पे
reset
उसको
into
ये
it
नहीं
faster, and that
heavy.
would sort of stall out C9 from going for these immediate A pops like last round.
I think 8-4
One
8-4
thing
is
for
like
G2 is unlike other teams
bare
that play the
minimum
breach this
genuine
map,
pistol
they are
और
oftentimes
fast snowball
prioritizing
करते हैं.
saving Jonah's stun for the later round Teo missile combos instead of like using it off the rip to take a lobby like a lot of teams do. He's very disciplined about that, but because of that, I mean C9 has managed to just
और
kind of
Vivek
contact
Dwight.
a lobby in a lot of rounds here.
इतना हैंडसम दिखने का क्या फायदा जब 5-10 मेंबर्स नहीं ले पा रहे हो बता.
For A long and
क्या
all
फायदा?
contact with the stun, but coming in on the eco for G2, it will just be a full empty A site.
9-3 my
they're going back
prediction
to the well on
8-4.
C.
8-4.
A lot of C9 fans here today.
Stun missiles out into this grass space. He's got a stinger. And I mean, if he can cheese a
Green
kill,
निकला बे.
I think he might just have a
Oh,
chance.
gone!
Smoke out. Goodbye, Vic. Where's that? Phone going back towards spawn. But it's a fight on the site that's more important for the moment. An alt rip for Jonah.
What am I
Oxy
looking
can't
at?
see a thing.
बाप
He's stuck in the
रे.
smoke, but his teammates are dying around him. And now another ultimate used. It's Jawjumo. Clearing space back down long. He spots out two.
ना
One
मान
flash
रे
in.
भाई.
A second. Ready to follow. Jawjumo.
भाई
Stinger
लड़े
in
जा रहे
hand.
लड़े जा रहे.
Discipline
अभी
still.
A जाएंगे तो
He
भी
doesn't
उसका TP
overcommit
है
this
bro.
one. C9 look for a different option.
yeah, I mean, if C9 were to sprint back to A, there's still a teleport back in
ए
spawn.
स्ट्रिंग्स
The
ने
Teo
मत
rotating
करना रे
over too.
बाबा.
I like C9 slowing the round down and creeping
गुड़ा
back into
थैंक
A.
यू फॉर द वन मेंबरशिप मेरी जान के
That might be where the
टोटे.
gap is, because they saw all the
Sajak
Vise
bhai,
towards C. Vise is
वो
now
करो.
dead.
Thanks
So
बोलो.
he is the immediate answer for them.
Goodness कब तक है?
And they've solved it
No
correctly.
planning for at least 2 years.
There's going to be a fight towards lane. Jaw walking in. Back's turned. But the Sting is not the weapon for the job. Trent has to do it. Sheriff in hands. Oh, he almost had that. Now it's a 1v1.
1v1 chat.
Breach against breach.
लेकिन मिच के पास HP है.
The only advantage is going to be Mitch having the stun in the post plant. He can retreat to long or even use this to reposition. Now he can be anywhere in the mind of Jonah P.
क्या लगता है प्रोफेसर?
Where does Jonah think to look? Slowly clearing out the site. Mitch is tucked all the way back in long.
क्या लगता है प्रोफेसर?
Jonah has his stun
नहीं
online,
है.
but time working against him. A stun in the corner. A push coming in. Jonah not going to have the
Yeah.
chance to even get a brawl here. Mitch is so far back in the time. Mitch has played it perfectly. Jonah, he'll find the kill, but he's not going to win this round.
6-1.
Wow, that was almost the chance for G2 to sneak back into the game.
वैसे गिफ्ट कैसे मिलता है? रैंडमली
to lose
मिलता है.
that round. Rolling Thunder, Yorua, the two best ults they have are gone.
Definitely the best two ults they had. That is unfortunate. Well played for Mitch there. You know, after 7 rounds of C9 playing super confident, running, sprinting at the enemy, he's like, no, I'll play time. That's fine. That's fine by me.
रात के 3:30 बजे solid bunks by love it
exactly
too मेरी जान रोटे.
Now it looks like G2 are going to be shifting back into that a lot.
Yeah, जब भी लोग stream देखने like करो, we are close to 1K likes, buddy.
C9 once again moving back towards C.
A judge in the Blade Storm for Oxy.
There's a Vise wall here though. C9 aren't playing a Yoru or anything like that, so they got to do a little bit more work to clear that out.
Still, Vic can
Perez का match कब है
Oxy has
दोपहर
a
को?
dash as well.
True. A lot of times
पहले
you
match
see
है.
Oxy send
1:30
his way
को.
into the site anyways. They bank on him to find the opener. Buy time for the rest of the team to come in behind the wall.
Same here. Oxy's on his way, but the counter flash catches him. G2 escape, flooding back in. That's the Blade Storm gone, but Net on the lurk has a chance. He's successful with a kill onto Jonah, but the ults start to fly, and G2 reassert control of backside, leaving Zeppa on an island, stuck with a shorty in a hand. Gets at least one.
Big kill था वो.
And now a 3v3. It's a fight
Oh,
in Garage,
shit.
and C9 have support available
Oh
again.
shit.
It's been on fire this round, but it all turns to Trent. The only player for G2 on site, not hit by the stun, but doesn't connect.
Missiles away.
Stalls out the plant with the missiles.
Really is just trying to buy time for Jog mode. Drone into Garage is going to let Jog creep in here.
Oh shit.
Now down to 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Mitch has a fault line back,
मारना
ready to
पड़ेगा,
go. Jog
मारा.
finds the opener, it's 2-on-2.
Has a clone. Sends it through Garage and regroups with his teammate. The clone, though, sticks, doesn't find its mark, and flooding through. Trent goes
Oh,
down to Jog.
shit.
We need all 3 kills to save this round. And it's a 1v1 against the rookie. Spots him just on the edge, but Vic!
Shit,
so
way close था.
good
भाई
in these
NT था
late
भाई
rounds.
जोकोमो.
This has been on fire
By
this
7-1.
stage. Stepping up in a big way for
नम नम क्या हो गया मेरा
Cloud9.
dinner?
And there, taking down G2 Star.
कितना स्ट्रीम करेगा इसके बाद एक पैसिफिक के बस उसके बाद
Came again
I
in one of
think
these
normal
really
stream
chaotic
रहेगा.
rounds, right? Like C9 trying to get very
And then
aggro,
Gagal.
G2 going for this late pinch into Garage. But I think for me, what's working for C9A this round, Nets lurk into mid. He saw the Vise utility, the Vise wall set up on C, so he takes that
पैसिफिक के
very quick
बाद
timing.
एनए नहीं
for
है
B.
सॉरी ये में नहीं है एनए और एनए के बाद वापस पैसिफिक.
Okay!
ओह सेंटिनेल्स का मैच है कल.
Oxy's saying what he's feeling.
I respect that.
And you know
Sen
what?
का match
That's
है,
the
बाद
level
में
of
second
don't
match
respect
बहुत
your
बाप रे
enemies that I think
True
Imi
versus 100 Thieves.
did when he gave them the pep talk between
तेरे
maps.
Here's the
सुबह
thing,
के
you
matches
give
बाप
carte
रखना
blanche
जरूरी है.
to Oxy and Vic, you know those guys are going to be popping off like that.
Carte blanche. I didn't know you could.
Physical afternoon, right? Yes, sir.
Not quite.
She's fluent up here. Wow. I don't think anyone
Timing
was
का कुछ
expecting
idea
this.
नहीं रे
In one
ईशान भाई.
half for G2,
कोई
how
stream
often
करेगा
do
तो
you see
तेरे को
that?
मालूम पड़
On their
जाएगा
defensive side,
notification.
don't forget, like G2 is a team that is significantly better on defense than they are in attack. Like this is a team that just destroys you. It feels like you have no options really when you're trying to
मेरी
attack.
नींद
into
आ रही है लोरी सुना.
that.
Excuse me.
C9 consistently.
Vic is so
Apart
good.
from round
Oh, I
five,
saw tweets
the
आते हैं
C hits
अभी.
have been working.
भाई तो W है.
They've done a great job of eating up G2 ultimates as well. And yeah, chat seems to agree that Vic is the
Oh,
GOAT.
chat है ये.
I didn't know we had that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're in the future.
भाई W production भाई.
G2 in a lobby fight. Haven't seen many of these.
गलती से गलत
Well,
chat देख
instead
लिया
they
तो
choose to play
इसलिए
more as
है.
a trap.
The
Missiles,
spot from
stun.
Jonah.
Oh, it's beautiful. They've caught on to 2. Xenon trying to work through the smoke with the pistols. They ring true.
वो लोग अभी
4
A ही fight
to
करना
2 is
पड़ेगा.
how it ends
3
after
guns
the
है.
trades. And C9's still going to go for it.
Oh,
Zeppa
man.
deleted.
What a cool play, Vic. Paranoid out, trying to run to the site, but how often do you see a thrifty round like that where the Mumbai team wins in 20 seconds?
अन्ना chat miss.
And they win
किधर है ना?
every duel at range, literally.
Unreal. No, the difference
कल
there is
Sen का
Jonah's
match है
position.
और एक
Very
Sen
rare you'll
bootcamp
see a
से
breach
photo
actually sneak into
on
that corner with
WhatsApp.
fault line
Yes.
available.
मतलब आप Sen के bootcamp में हो? अन्ना what the fuck अन्ना? आप इतने fit? हेलो? अन्ना क्या सीन? डिटॉक्स थोड़ा ज्यादा हो गया, पार्टी करना पड़ेगा ना। चेक व्हाट्सएप देखा मैंने, हैवी फिटनेस हैवी। अन्ना जस्ट सेइंग, आप मुझे बोलते रहते हो बिंक्स लैंड, उसका मतलब या मेरा साइज एल है, एल या यप अन्ना।
Okay, Oxy threw every piece of
अन्ना हैवी दिख रहा by the way.
the victor. Leaf though, this is his site, and he's not gonna let any man have it. Oxy, maybe the only one to try and find the rebuttal, but he's gone too. And net, it's a hopeless
अन्ना
task.
हैवी दिख रहा है अन्ना.
G2 back in this game.
अन्ना by the way, आपका जो कोच है वो एक प्लेयर को हटाने का बोल रहा था 7-0 अप होने के बावजूद। एनी कमेंट्स अन्ना? देख लो बहुत साफ है आसपास। सेल्फा बोलते 8-4 बड़ी 8-4 8-4 बड़ी।
And he's not happy about it. He's gonna immediately slam the timeout button.
It's like, respect them, guys, respect them.
निकालो लोड।
The immediate flip-flop. Maybe not. It's been working for C9. And again, if we could rewind and actually see the utility, maybe there's a more sensible explanation.
Respectfully got speed by.
Oh wait, no. Did Vic actually get pinged? Because I know Vic got seen by the Tejo drone. He might have been
pinged by it.
I'm not sure.
He could have been suppressed.
If it was suppressed, then that makes the side hit even more surprising. All things considered, that would explain why he didn't press his ability.
अन्ना that was unexpected, यही अन्ना है। Unexpected is the real thing.
Maybe they'll tell us. Like screaming.
अन्ना क्या सीन, कुछ heavy news या shopping या कुछ?
No rewind button up here.
Fake है। By impossible ये real हो। Elite Hubs एक ऐसा साइट है जहाँ पे इतना heavy पीसी, शार्क पीसी, जो जूते वाला पीसी, गाफ पीसी, समझ रहे हो? ऐसा 200 रियल रहता है। एक शार्क पीसी मेरे पीछे नहीं रहता है यहाँ पे फ्री में। हाँ फेक है भाई, यहाँ पे एक पीछे इतना बड़ा शार्क पीसी नहीं रहता। फेक है भाई, फेक है चैट।
C9 put down this top
ना membership,
try and threaten they could be creeping up behind it.
तो चैट भी 210,000 के जगह पे।
But because G2 are playing actively around A,
Hold on, lead.
जब से AI आया है ना, तब से फेक लोग बहुत आए।
He's going in. He's sending it forward, but runs out of bullets. It seems doesn't have a chance to get that second
भाई ये
kill.
तो C9 thirsty कर दिया बे। Binks successfully 6 months टीम खर्चा हमारा ओल्ड जॉर्ड गैंग दुबई ट्रिप। सच्ची बात है रे अन्ना, टीम अच्छा कर रहा है, सब कुछ अच्छा हो रहा है और क्या चाहिए यार? आपका सपना भी पूरा हो सकता है और क्या चाहिए बताओ?
The first half of space, so long as they can kill Vic, and he's still causing problems. One kill found on the other side of the wall.
But I miss our gaming.
And he dips through to safety, just on the other side. This round should be over. 1 versus 3. Jonah P, no chance.
हाँ भाई, कौन बोल रहा था 7-5?
3 C9. Win it on the Thrifty.
Well. We've had quite a few.
भाई क्यों मजे ले रहा हो? आपके लिए शार्क रखा है सीधा। ठीक है भाई, हम छोटे यूट्यूबर्स है ना, हम नहीं है भाई बिजनेसमैन, हमें क्यों शार्क मिलेगा? हाँ नहीं है यार। इनके 4 मेंबर्स है मेरे पास, 3 साल से रेंट पे सेंटी कर दिया है चैट। कुछ आंसू पूछ रहा हूँ, 2 शार्क दो ना प्लीज, बीवी भी है।
Already.
Just got destroyed.
2 प्लेट शार्क
There's the
पीसी।
first one of those used. Full info going the way of Cloud9.
एक लगा तो कलेश हो सकता है घर में। बात समझो।
And they took their sweet time lurking past the cipher cage. This time Net just sent it.
रोमत बंश रोमत, लव यू यार चैट। हाथ पकड़ो मेरा, हाथ पकड़ो।
A stun ready to support. Off his contact. Use by both teams now.
We are breach stunning our lurk into the A site, pulling an ultimate, wall execing
Or
Z.
commit
Fallon is still here. He's holding alone, not for long.
Bye.
Oxy shuts him out of this
Jumping
round.
shot,
And now a 4v3,
jumping
a
shot.
kill in mid from C9. They have outplayed G2.
This is Nayak,
Oh,
Kuranami
and now
knife. Which
breach
one is better?
becomes the Mithul
Kuranami,
to find the
baby.
kill. Leaf is pushed out A, so yeah, maybe find something, but the reposition for Mitch, as a matter of fact, is almost unclearable. C9 are ulting the enemy spawn. They're
Chalo, time for
droning
long
their
juice,
own,
long waited.
but
Take his
somehow
care,
Leaf is
Zana.
stuck in this.
Love
No,
you.
shut up.
Please no. Oh, he's got it down to 1. The ultimate popped, but where is Vic? He TP'd across, takes down Trent, and now it's only Leaf to make this happen. But this time, it's gone. Seemed
Na
like there might have
7-5
been
night
some
4.
shenanigans. Doesn't matter in the end that Vic finally wrangles the aim.
Huh?
What a crazy
Love you,
round.
Anna.
Vic
Bye.
finds the
The
Red Bull
take is
clutch,
the
but
cares.
That was just some wild macro out of C9. I love those looks where it's a fake hit, but you're
आप मेरे को
actually
सेंटी
sending
कर रहे हो.
someone in with the
आप
side
ले
there.
लो शार्क भाई, ले
By
लो
showing
कहाँ
the
से
body
दे दो.
behind the stun, it pulls the breach ult, or the tail. They think everyone's
देखा
in
अभी
there.
तक खुद मेंबरशिप नहीं दिया सपोर्ट करने.
Back and forth
Huh?
across the way, but that's 9 to
फंस
3
गया
in the
लेकिन.
half. C9 looking dominant to start Haven.
www. Thank you for the 50 gifted membership मेरी जान के टोटे. Hearts दो chat, एलिटब्स को hearts दो. W आप बहुत बढ़िया काम करते हो मनसुख भाई. बढ़िया काम करते हो मनसुख भाई. आप बहुत बढ़िया काम करते हो मनसुख भाई. मैंने पर्सनली लेकिन 6-7 बंदे को रेकमेंड किया. लव यू बड़ी. जिसको भी मेंबरशिप मिला टैग करके गाफ दे, चूपा दे, हार्ट्स दे, ठीक है. आज मेरा ग्रुप फटने वाला लग रहा है. हाँ कितना आज 250 गिफ्टेड हो गए. हैवी मार्केटिंग बंक में असली एमबीए. तो आप ये गॉडस्पीड भाई कैसे लगा? आप भी फंसे, एलिट हब्स वाले भी फंसे. हाँ लेजेंड्स फंस रहे, डायरेक्ट लेजेंड्स. मार्केटिंग के चक्कर में राउंड मिस किया. कैजुअल मैं देख लिया था ना, टाइम नहीं था.
But the road to a flawless group is
एंट्री
never
राउंड
easy.
देखना. राउंड मिस मैं
Facing
कभी नहीं
down the
करता.
barrel of a
एक का
9-3
शॉट
half.
मिस हो सकता है
They have
लेकिन
to pull off a massive comeback
राउंड मिस
to
नहीं
end
कर
this without having to head to Pearl.
Yeah, we'll see what they're able to do here. Of
एमबी की
course,
क्लासेस कब
you
से
know,
ज्वाइन
on
करो?
defense, they
मेरा
didn't really get
रिटायरमेंट
what they
प्लान.
wanted. Those fast plays from C9 were certainly disruptive.
पढ़ाई विद बम्स भाई.
But not as easy for C9 to replicate that success now, switching sides in G2 with a Yoru to deal with, send clones to deal with trips. And
Well.
options to play much slower rounds.
Well.
And still find success.
मैं समझ गया. 4-5 लाख का शार्क किसी नहीं देने का करके 15,000 का गिफ्टेड देके मुंह बंद किया जा रहा है. सच छुपाया जा रहा है. This is a clear-cut case of misdirection of miscreation.
Teleport in backside. Look at that spam from Zeppa.
समझ रहे हो chat?
Nearly kills Valen. Shock darts, Oxy into this site.
Chat जिसको भी मिला प्लीज टैग करके थैंक्स बोलो. यहाँ पे C9 जीत रहा है, लास्ट मैच जाने वाले. तब तक आर्ट्स दो और टैग करके थैंक्स बोलो मेरी जान के टोटो. इतने रात को देख रहे, स्ट्रीम देख रहे, थक गए रहेंगे काम करके एलिटप्स वाले. प्लीज थोड़ा प्यार दे देना और कोड यूज करना बिंक्स बाय 6969. उससे जो भी पीसी लोगे एक्स्ट्रा 69 रुपीस तुम्हें भरना पड़ेगा.
Surely it should just be 4 members swinging him at once and putting an end to this one.
Twist.
That's 2, but the support's
Twist
there.
है
Don't get excited too soon.
वहाँ पे सीधा बोलेंगे 100 मेंबरशिप गिफ्टेड दिया ना 69 रुपीस दे
the
चुपचाप.
site there. Think back to Icebox. Every single round they're trying to flood back in on defense. They're just getting stuffed completely. But there, the
W
follow-up
W
behind
अभी तक
Oxy
लेकिन
was
खुद
great.
से नहीं लिया है.
Flashed out, he falls, but
Just
dropping
saying.
down into the site. But Vic
दिल से सपोर्ट नहीं करते. I mean
swinging
दिमाग
out
से सपोर्ट
behind,
नहीं करते.
cleaning up what he could.
रात को TOFS होता है क्या? सारे ओनर सो गए रहेंगे.
G2, they won a lot of ecos in the first half, and they're forcing into 4 stingers. And Aaron
सबसे ज़्यादा कॉमेडी
to try and
लैक
win
ऑफ
this
स्लिप
one.
की वजह से
Make
होता
a
है शायद.
break on Haven, and
भाई
Oxy's
ऑक्सी
already
ना
found the
मान
opening
रहा
kill.
भाई.
He's just sending it. Oxy,
ब्रो
no one's
ऑक्सी
watching
ना
him.
मान रहा
No
भाई.
one's
घुस
stopping
के
him.
मारा भाई.
This round is already
हाँ?
done. Leaf in another impossible situation, and Oxy's hungry.
भाई
4
भड़क
kills.
गया भाई.
And C9, that
He's
monk
like
just locked up
जग
the
होगा
map.
काल.
Oxy means business up there. Just destroying him
Why?
with the Guardian. There's light armors, that's double
Dad,
body
please
shot kills
जिसको
on
भी मिले
everyone.
please tag करके
Yeah,
thanks
easy
बोल देना.
one, double body shot. Get
It's rare
another one.
you make Jojimo look silly. Told him out his flash in the
Let by
corner.
chat miss.
Because there's 3 players in front
एक
of him.
टाइम पे
This
व्हाट्सएप
guy
करते थे.
just like, wait a second, I thought I
दूसरे आईडी पर है. इस पे नए नए यूट्यूबर बने हैं. हाँ क्या?
lying on the floor.
After a rough map one, Oxy topping the server here on Haven.
Time to jump.
By the way, crazy pieces, sir. Crazy pieces. Wish you all the best and more success. Sir.
Insert now for
W
Jaw.
work, W
Dart doesn't
pieces.
see him, oh dear. Oh dear. Well, now
For
the
real,
macro
for real.
round could
Yep,
fall
yep,
apart from
yep.
C9. No Sova means no active information that they can gain. You also
How
have the
about,
box that's been left as a garage insert
Binks
that G2 after
budget
showing the presence
PC,
that, hey,
ऐसा
we're
नाम.
gonna come back into it's all on Oxy with the C-long creep
उसमें
down.
मेरा एक aura रहेगा, aura. मेरा
In the
design.
side of G2.
आइडिया सुनो.
Okay, this is a little dangerous
ये
now.
गेम खत्म हो गया है. भाई देखो शार्क आए हैं चैट पे. शार्क टैंक चालू करते. गेम खत्म हो चुका है. हाँ aura वाली बातें करते हैं. मेरा एक डिजाइन जैसे कि मैं कच्चा पहनता हूँ तो कच्चा डिजाइन जिसमें आधा सीपीयू दिखेगा आधा सीपीयू नंगा कच्चा डिजाइन कहेंगे इसको क्योंकि मैं शॉर्ट्स में रहता हूँ और सीपीयू बाय द बॉल्स देख पाएंगे अपन समझ रहे हो बजट क्रेजी बाय हाँ in return I want 80% Shark Tank.
At least 4 in this game.
Right back into it. That's kind of like G2's signature move, I think.
दो बंदे जो चिल्लाए हैं ना जिनको लग रहा है कमबैक होने वाला है चुपचाप थर्ड मैप पे बुलाओ उनको
Maybe not always in window, but under window, right outside the doors.
बना तो देंगे बट फिर आपको वही पीसी यूज करना पड़ेगा.
Make up for the fact they don't have the same explosivity of a
आ जाओ दोपहर के स्ट्रीम पे आ जाओ.
They try to punish you in this mid space when you overcommit on the rotates.
दोपहर के पीसी पे आ जाओ. I mean दोपहर के इसमें.
Judgment
ये
has
दिख रहा है ना ये दिख रहा है ना.
Beautiful.
Where is he headed here?
जो ब्लिंक कर रहा है घर जाएगा.
Starts towards mid.
Yeah, just ready if there is that early mid
I
aggression.
am very intelligent.
Oh, this is a very good position from Oxy. Bladestorm up and down goes the most important man for G2 in this round. Oxy wants more though. This is one hungry boy. He's heading back in. No.
ना मान रहे भाई ये बंदा ना मान रहा है हिलता भी नहीं है बे. हिलता भी नहीं है भाई ये.
From his B player, Mitch, both saves him and nets a kill. Now, yeah, sure, Leafs come into the site, but you see where Zepp is playing. It's just full A contained.
क्या मूवमेंट है ना बे मेरे जिससे.
Any deeper than it is now. Question is, do they clear this spot?
Crazy मूवमेंट है भाई.
Mitch might just walk into him. It's all about the timing, and Mitch, he's so ready.
12-4.
Stun out of Jonah P as well.
अभी तक नहीं मर रहा भाई वो बंदा.
Yeah, Oxy's already up on
तो
the flank.
सीन है.
2
कुछ तो
versus
सीन है.
5. Ooh, that was nearly a freebie, but the shoulder tucks in and C9 flawlessly make their
भाई
way to map
टेक्निकली
point.
ऑक्सी भाई को मरना था उधर.
We said that garage attack from
Technically
G2 the
देखा जाए
previous
तो.
round was their signature move. How do you beat that? Some mid
Commander
aggro, right? You
streamer,
fight them before
किस
they
चीज़ का
get
commander
in
मेरे
that
को तो
position.
बताओ
You
लेकिन.
blow up the round yourselves. It's exactly what C9 managed to do.
कच्चा नहीं पहनता उसका घमंड है.
It's only happened a couple of times this game, but when G2 sort of play this trump card against C9 that wins around and breaks the macro plan of C9, C9 immediately going to the next round have the right reaction. We saw that.
Basically मरा ही नहीं पर. ऐसे नहीं मरा पता नहीं रे. Language sorry madam मैं भूल गया था. Sorry.
Your sign's upside down, buddy.
That
Gotta flip that.
A cool watch party.
Here's that
Something
YOLO we
different.
talked about last round. This time used off the rip. No
Alag,
coincide with
alag
the KO
tha.
drone backside.
Oh, I don't like your odds here, Net, but he's trying to get back into it.
Flashed up, Jojima keeps the pressure on and keeps these players out of C for now. Thorns now placed down on the choke, that'll allow the plant.
And Leaf will have the ultimate in the post plant too, so options to rip that fight into C-Link.
मैं बस मैं Pacific की stream पे देखूंगा. Done scene.
It's the stingers against what have just become pistols. Deep Thorns used. A shorty for Oxy. Just saying hello. Well,
भाई कुछ
Jojimo
तो से
is
finally
battling.
भाई finally कोई तो मारा भाई उसको.
And now finally C9 get to group up. They get to make a go of this retake in somewhat even ground, but Valen trying to hold on to this line, needs to help out his teammates, but everyone's blind.
Oh,
and C9, they'll get on
shit.
this defuse, but the
Half हो
missiles
गया.
are coming in. Half is denied. And there's time. Is it there? It absolutely
Oh
is.
my,
C9,
my,
13 to
my,
4.
my.
A dominant reply here on Haven.
Oh
C9
my,
just
my,
killed them.
my,
From
my.
G2's map pick. Absolutely no fear in their eyes. You could see the mentality shift on full display right there. From the very first round,
Hey.
yelling, screaming, swinging
Hey.
absolutely
Hey.
everything. This C9 team is here to play.
Bro, what the fuck?
Nearly 20 kills for Oxy and what was a very
पहला
quick
एकदम
map.
अलग
The
कॉम्प
key
लेके
players for
जीतू ने
C9
अलग
fueled
मारा
up. The
और अभी
calling from
उनके
Mitch
मैप
looking
में
strong.
उनके कंफर्ट पिकिंग में
This is
सीने
a
जीती
team that
वो भी
now
ऐसे
just one map away from issuing G2 their first loss of the stage.
And don't forget, the third and final map is Pearl. The last two teams who've seen G2 on that map have been defeats. That's going back to Bangkok even. They're going to have to come up with something here if they want to stay on top of the group.
वेले दिखाई देगा लग रहा है. Binks bhai, what do you think on G this year? Why are they struggling? Struggling तो PRX भी कर रही है ना यार. सब लोग एंटी लिख रहे हैं ना लेकिन ठीक आ रहा है. हाँ. Struggling is part of life. Part of life. टॉप पे रहोगे तो भी स्ट्रगल कि तुमको टॉप पे रहना है. नीचे रहोगे तो भी स्ट्रगल कि तुमको ऊपर जाना है. Bless you, thank you. सोनम भाई 4 बजे स्पोर्ट्स प्लेयर पूरे वर्ल्ड में पहला स्पोर्ट्स प्लेयर है जो 4 बजे जस्ट सेटिंग कर रहा है. 2 कोच होने के बाद. बिंक्स भाई आपने डैड के साथ प्रैक्टिस कर रहा. अब मुझे पता चलता है कि he is here to support. No one was there to support him, so I feel lucky. मुझे लंड नहीं समझा. लेट मी. बिंक्स मैं अपने डैड के साथ प्रैक्टिस कर रहा. अब मुझे पता चलता है कि he is here to support. No one was there to support him. So I feel lucky. मुझे नहीं समझा. अभी भी नहीं समझा. तू तेरे डैड के साथ प्रैक्टिस कर रहा. क्या? लव. एंड ही इज देयर टू सपोर्ट. किसको? लेकिन कोई उनको सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहा. ये ठीक है, ये मैं समझा. लेकिन कोई उनको सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहा तो तू लकी क्यों फील कर रहा है? वो तो तुमको सपोर्ट करेगा ही क्योंकि तू बेटा है. बेंच मेरे को नहीं समझा. आदित्य भाई मेरे हिसाब से मेंबरशिप अपग्रेड करेगा तो शायद मैं डिकोड कर पाऊंगा ये चीज. शायद से मेरे हिसाब से. समझ रहे? ये एकदम पीक 150 वाला चैट लग रहा है. अरे मतलब उनके डैड ने उनको सपोर्ट नहीं किया. किनके डैड ने किसको सपोर्ट नहीं किया? उनके डैड ने तेरे को सपोर्ट नहीं किया. कंफ्यूज हो रहा है. तेरे फाफा ने फाफा को सपोर्ट नहीं किया ऐसा? तेरे फाफा ने फाफा को सपोर्ट नहीं किया ऐसा? फाफा ने तेरे को क्या करके तू लकी फील कर रहा है ऐसा? W, that's a W dad रहता है. Confusing था. Yes. Oh, that is life, bro. इसलिए सारे लोग अलग अलग रहते हैं. कुछ लोग सपोर्ट करते, कुछ लोग नहीं करते. यही तो ब्यूटी है. एक चाय पी लो बंक भाई, सच्ची चाहिए यार ऑक्सीजन. यही चाय पीना पड़ेगा. मैं चाय पीने ही भूल जाता हूँ. मेरे को अभी नया वो है भाई. गरम कर दो, 2 सिप मारता हूँ, बहन चो भूल जाता हूँ. कोई मुझे याद भी नहीं दिलाता है कि चाय पीना है. भाई ये शर्ट देख रहे हो, आई लव ऑक्सी. क्या क्यूटी लोग है बे लोग. बे ये सब बकचोदी अपनी तरह क्यों नहीं होता बे. क्यों होता है और दिखता नहीं है मेरे को.
Want to here on the attack side, and they did. But then you had at some point Josh RT called the timeout, and he's like, you know what?
मैं याद
Let's just
दिलाऊंगा,
let them
ठीक है,
back.
गरम
And then I
करके
just
आया.
saw G2 just brawl it back against them until you had enough
Waiting
good
for
conditions on the
Aspas,
side
my
of Mitch
god.
that in round number 12 he had a perfect fake side with network on the towards the A side.
मेरा
and then go for
पहनना.
the full exec over on C, and then
Scammer लोगों
G2
को मैं
was not
help
ready
नहीं
for that.
करता भाई.
Paolo was left by himself on that C
Decide
side,
कर लो,
and they
esports
couldn't
करना
work
है,
into the
यूट्यूबर
same type of,
बनना
like,
है.
synergy and chemistry that
दोनों
G2
पे
used
पैर
to
रख
have.
रहे एक एक.
Yeah, speaking of
हाँ?
synergy and
दोनों पे एक
chemistry,
एक पैर रखेगा ना,
Oxy
ऐसा
and Net both
उसे
had a
बीच की
really,
डंडी
really
दिखेगी.
great match on this map.
एक जगह पे पैर रखो जरा.
had some insane
Rank कुछ हुआ नहीं जा रहा है.
great entry
I
kill.
love Oxy.
He set up
I
well.
love
Oxy.
On the other side, Net going up against his old team, putting
still love
on
Oxy.
a show. I mean, can you love Net too? He did pretty good.
I actually do love that too.
Biased. Biased as hell. This is crazy.
But you bring up a great point, Wyatt. He'd actually had some pivotal rounds where he had great lurks around. He was able to cut rotates as well. And just
That's
going...
what he's been so good at. That's
Exactly.
what's really stood out to me for him in stage one is Net's ability to cut off rotators on the attack side when they're hitting sites.
The only one that I could think of was like old school Apoth over at EG most recently in terms of like players that can lurk very well. If not, I'm looking at the past, like even past years would probably like be somebody like Finesse or even Marv. That said though, Net, he's found his spot over at C9, being able to again do some good calling on the defensive side, but also being pivotal in terms of like being the one that's going to be able to call audibles in the mid-round based on the information that he grabs here for C9.
He's also bringing a lot of excitement to the team. I think really adding to that feeling of, oh, we're capturing momentum and swinging back into this game after really just being blown out on all accords for map one. So impressed by what he was able to deliver overall for C9 to get back into this series.
Yeah.
And now we're heading to Pearl, which is a fantastic last map for them. They have a real shot at taking this series now.
Yeah, Cloud9 currently 3-0 on Pearl in this stage alone, whereas G2 has struggled on Pearl recently.
Yeah, I mean, Ender brought up a great point. They're 0-2 throughout this year. One that actually probably is a heartbreak for them too, because they lost that in the grand finals in Bangkok over to lose the whole series when they were dominant throughout the whole 3/4 of that map.
Yeah.
And then you get to play against MIBR, you come back with a vengeance. You talked about slow starts for teams coming from internationals, but they looked pretty good until they played against MIBR, lost that in overtime. I feel like letting this map through for G2 is just kind of like, again, wanting to prove that it doesn't fluster them, that it doesn't matter that they play against a 3-0 team like C9, they could still come back and dominate, and that will be like a proving point for them going into the playoffs.
I do want to point out that at the beginning of the year, when they were running that double Senti comp where they had Leaf on the chamber in kickoff, they were finding a lot of success. But the last time we saw them in that loss against MIBR, they pivoted to the Tejo comp look, right? And they're going up against a C9 who run that Yordu jet that is genuinely fantastic. They're my favorite Pearl team to watch at the moment.
Well, and we will be treated to Pearl in just a moment. But before we head into map number 3, let's hear what Leaf had to say about having to face off against his former teammates.
I love you, Oxy.
It's definitely a little weird to be like on the other side of the stage, not like in the same jersey as C9, you know, coming from Cloud9. And, you know, I've been teammates with Zeppa for almost half a decade at this point now, like since I was 16. And, you know, obviously I left last year, but still that's a lot of time, and it's definitely odd, but you kind of just know how each other think when you play with each other that much. And like, obviously like Mitch was kind of IGLing when I was on C9 in like 2022. But he's obviously like grown and improved way more since then. And I'm friends with all those people. It's just always fun to play against them, and always fun to just, you know, like talk backstage and stuff like that and just have fun with them.
Well, let's see how much fun can be had on Pearl. Wyatt, what do you want to see?
Well, wasn't Leaf also saying something before we started this game in one of the videos about how they never lose to C9, and now they just
might lose to
got
C9
rolled on Haven, and now they're playing on maybe C9's best map. So it's possible that he's maybe cursed himself a little bit today.
He may or may not have done that, but also if they win this one, curse broken, everything's fine, right?
Yeah, I guess so. But at the same time, I think the scenarios are still quite good here for G2 to be able to top the group. But yeah, you definitely see two one-sided maps. They are able to trade maps as well, where G2 lost that map pick or their map on Haven. But I think a good thing about the video is he was praising on how Mitch was so good. And Mitch, when he got dropped from C9, he still kept grinding. He was grinding in the tier 2 scene, IGLing for Oxygen Esports. So he never really let the pedal off the gas. He's been learning months after months.
एक हाथ से एक तो टाइप कर रहा था मैं
for this moment as well.
भी गांड
The
मार
two teams are taking us all the way to map number 3. Pearl is coming up, and the Omega Group's #1 seed is on the line, so don't go anywhere. We love Oxy.
कौन गोली चला रहा है भाई पीछे? हेलो? किसका तो माइक क्लिक हो रहा है? उससे अच्छा रेडी टी बैग्स लो, लेकिन पानी और दूध तो गर्म करना पड़ेगा ही ना। ये ऐसा कुछ टी बैग है कि ऐसा डाल दिया गर्म हो गया अपने आप।
Well, each team had a dominant map to start this series, and now we're going all the way to Pearl.
G2 membership नहीं ली नहीं, 6 membership क्या करूँगा?
Stage, but they've been pushed to map 3
Esports player नहीं बन पा रहा है वो।
And C9, this is their chance to win this out, keep great chances of locking #1 seed alive, and really put this group into a crazy tie for the bye.
That's the thing, right? G2 wins, stakes are simple. They're just the #1 team in Omega Group. You get the bye. It's all good.
Which NA team will go to Masters Toronto according to you? According to me.
Against FURIA.
Against FURIA, yeah.
And then we've got a 3-way tie in first place between C9,
That's
MIBR,
and then it comes down to like
Let me
map
check.
differential first, because it's a 3-way tie, and it gets all messy.
So not only does C9 want to win this map, they want to kill G2 on this map.
Thus far, doing great. +1 round differential as they both trade out their stops.
No big deal. Yeah, the real question is how MIBR would do in their series, but things are going as expected here.
I
This is an interesting map for C9. They're one of the few teams that is playing the double duelist, but locking the Jet into it. Most teams are going more T1's direction with stuff like the Neon. You'll even see some other experimentation there. But this is a very C9 comp, and it's a very Oxy-centric comp. We didn't see a lot of him opping on defense on either map, and I think this is his chance to really take over with that weapon.
You can already see G2 up on stage sweating, seeing the double duelist on the other side, getting flashbacks to the T1 nonsense they had to deal with. But I think on the two maps they've played most recently, when they played Pearl, it was against T1, it was MIBR, it was both losses. But in both of them, I think so many times in late round situations, they caught bad breaks. The other way, I need to see a G2 that's a lot stronger in those late round situations.
C9 will fight for control of A main and succeed in taking that space.
I'm interested by Oxy's position over in street. He was playing up a little bit more aggro towards double.
आवाज नहीं आ रहा है किसका?
He called off that line just a little bit. So right now there's not a lot of assistance for C9 to stall out against this hit. Just the Astra Star and the one player rotating in with Oxy.
Vic spots out at least 2 or 3 players on this site. And Oxy's gonna go in, get proactive. He'll sit within the smoke. Wants to try and find a reposition because the Yoru's coming in to pinch him. Vic, unprepared, but Oxy still in position, not for long. Trent takes care of him, and G2 cleanly get a 5v3 in the post.
Yeah, Planter gets out no problem too. There's 3 players bundled up in backside.
Mike के close मत आना please, dancing.
Someone is not going to be that. It's all starting to fall apart for Cloud9 as they continue getting stalled. Now the crossfire's coming.
How do they pick third map? जो बचा वो.
A quick work of this opening pistol.
G2, they've lost a lot of these opening pistol rounds. C9 in that last map won the bonus off of it. Started 5-0 on the map.
Okay.
G2 doing
voting है दे. बस हिमाचल की वादियों से क्या बात कर रहे हो भाई?
Teleporting into backside. Around the moment Oxy's getting pinged out by the Prowler, getting pulled away from that side. His teammate from backside 2 is rotating over to him. It just allowed G2 to pinch really nicely against C9.
We've seen a lot of teams move away from the Fade, trying out the Teo or the Sova, which has been around on this map for a while. But the cats are so strong to combine with your side execs, clear everything out. Well, they're going to have to clear a hell of a lot out here. That's 5 players ready to go on this brawl from C9. G2, they're just holding strong for now. They're dealing with this one perfectly. Not a player lost. 5 kills in the feed. 07 C9.
Salute C9. They just ran to their death. Literally said go next. Oh. Wait a second. Who is that on G2 with the C9 Classic?
Tossing it off the map, I think.
I like that. A little sacrifice.
क्या बात
है,
क्या
क्या
बात?
Valorant gods.
I'm built for these rounds. Let's go.
Yeah, bro, they've got classics.
Excuse me?
God's strong.
देखो देखो नाप दी सुपर चैट मेरी नाप कैसी दी
He's got 2.
अंधेरा है बोला
top fragging.
अंधेरा नहीं है
Big game after a round like this.
मतलब ज़्यादा सुपर चैट करते हैं तो लाइट आ जाती है
Oxy just getting forced off of those high lines.
गोपाल भाई love you यार.
The economic choices to get him an off this round. Instead, it is just going to be the rifle here.
But one too many Starbucks.
बस मैं अपने दोनों मैप देखे क्या यप दोनों मैप देखे
And heavy armor too. God, spending all his money on clothes. Well, this drone going over into A isn't going to do a great job of selling the fake, especially with Oxy still finding Valen over there. But that's the typical lurker. Hold on, nice kill.
एक इधर था उसको पता ही नहीं था.
For Oxy to lose out on. And now this B site wide open. Thorns are going to mean a flood retake is nigh on impossible, and Jaw's already arrived. Net, you better get out of there while you still have a chance. Missiles coming in, and he's somehow alive. Sneaks his way out of that one. But can C9 make something of this retake? It seems unlikely to start in the bonus round. It starts to feel like it's falling away from them. Some sort of salvation in Halls. Vic.
Nice
So
TP
good
bait.
in rounds like this.
Wow.
Already on the spike, a spam for the headshot, but Leaf against his former team activates. 3 kills already. Knows exactly where Vic is, and he cannot find the shots in time. That's G2. 3-0 to start.
It was great
अच्छा try था
baiting
लेकिन
from
अच्छा
G2.
try
Take
था.
that fight down long, right? Because from back on sign, that's where Valen is first spotted. Now, that doesn't mean a sight hit's coming in. That's usually, you know, your lurker on this side of the map. But there's no way
अब इस
Oxy
कॉम
was
से
ready for
क्यों
Leaf to
हटाया
be pushed
क्योंकि
all the
जब
way
भी
onto pillar to swing off
वो मैप पे
and
तो
take
ना
that
लोग
line.
बोलते हैं बिस्सी
He's
अब
also the guy
बिस्सी आ
finding
गया
2 kills
बिस्सी
even once the retake looks like it might
थोड़ा
swing
टाइम
back
बाद आएगा.
somehow to C9. The beautiful round now from Leaf there.
And G2 are happy what they found on the B site.
How do they pick third map? जो map बचा वो last
I
map.
think it's actually a lot harder to anchor on B. That the stun does so much to help hold space there and reposition while you're on the site. Unless you have the operator, it's actually pretty difficult to hold on to this site if you're C9.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of teams anchoring more around like back hall, around actual pillar on site.
मस्ती करने के लिए वो लोग
Pretty annoying to deal with, but
rotations में रहते हैं.
Especially when you're against supplies, you normally want to flood retake into a setup like this.
कुछ
That's
मैप चले
a bit more
जाता है पूल
difficult.
से फिर नए मैप
G2
आते
instead
हैं
have
फिर चले
plenty
जाते हैं
of
फिर
time
नए
to
आते हैं.
make their preparations and
For the
fortifications on this B
competitiveness.
site.
हाँ?
As finally this retake is beginning, but with the lesser
ये गेम ऐसा तो नहीं है ना कि 15 साल से एक ही चीज होएगा स्मोक और ब्लाइंड फेंकेंगे.
Lines them up, nearly flicks
I'd
onto
like
the
to
floor
apologize.
and puts to bed this anti-eco.
hold on, I thought Jonah P was built for these rounds. Why wasn't he finding any of the kills?
Caster गया बे.
His entry's not letting him have any fun.
That's tough.
You hate to be in a spot like that, but now's kind of where C9 have to get the ball
Sunset
rolling back.
वापस आ रहा है next tag. Yup.
That is rough, what we just witnessed.
Yeah, quick report card check. C9 thus far has 1 kill for every round of the game. Total across the team.
Usually you want to get 5 kills. That's typically
for every round.
For every round
so
you
want
to
like
win.
20 right now.
Yeah, so right now they haven't.
Language, bye. Language.
Well,
आज
he's not
दोपहर को
happy
देखना
about
घर
that.
जाएगा.
There's some other reasons too, is he's going to call a timeout, and I think this all comes down to solving the way they play B. This time, They do have
धनराज भाई क्या language है?
That's a big deal, right? Of course, as soon as you can like start fighting with the
ये कोई
Jet
जगह
solo
होती है?
down B, that's going to be good. I think the other thing a lot of teams would do, I mean,
आ
especially
जाएगा
like,
भाई.
a team like T1, they would often pair their
Good night, Binks
duels
भाई.
together,
सुबह काम
take
है,
early
मिलते
fights, and
Pacific
then
stream
your
पे
group very quickly
dancing.
teleport away to the other side of the map. So if they wanted to do some more aggro looks,
Binks
down
भाई
B
ओमान आ
long,
जाओ
maybe
भाई
you
मेरे
put the Jet
relatives
and
भी है
Yoru,
पता है ओमान में.
next to each other, post Jet forward on that line, then TP the Yoru out. But you can do that kind of anywhere you want around the map. It's one of the things that's even, I think, better. I think about running the Jet next to the Yoru defensively.
Direct
Primarily,
tag करके पूछ से.
it's a little bit more effective to, you know, take those sort of contact fights that you so often want to do as that duo.
कुछ लोग हैं भाई.
This goes here.
G2.
Direct owner कोई.
And instead of heading back to the well on B, they're instead gonna look over towards A
होएगा
and work
पता
on this brawl in A main.
Yeah, gonna get really
ये
defensive
राउंड
here.
कुछ
4
भी
stars
करके
across the two
सीनन को
teams.
जीतना पड़ेगा
Look at
वरना
Balance sending it. His team's not even behind him, but
it
Balance
is
running
over.
forward,
I
trying to
feel
get pinged.
it is over.
Really trying to sell presence here.
Huh?
Well, that's happening. Oxy has worked his way up through long, but they're not heading back there. Instead, they're setting this to a split.
Yeah, the C's hitting all three players. Full def in C9, so they have to bundle up in main. They're really concerned about the mid space. Their only real protection is going to be the Cypher camera.
Hello,
They've got
good
over
morning.
on
Good
straight.
morning.
So the concern for Cloud9 now would be that pinch.
MIBR versus FURIA की watch party है क्या? Risky भाई. तुम चाहते हो मैं करूँ?
G2 can call their way into B. They'd have a great chance,
बस
but
yes
as it
लिखो.
stands, they might be headed to the wrong direction.
This is where C9, like you said, starting to get nervous. Just a lot of pressure in mid. There's a lot of space that they're unaware of.
चल मैं जाता हूँ. Bye bye.
Hoping to re-clear A main.
It's going to be a big fight here. Likely decider of the round.
तुम लोग मेरे को नाचने बोलोगे मैं नाचूंगा. गाने बोलोगे गाना गाऊंगा.
He fights forward in the
MIBR करने बोलोगे मैं करूँगा.
C9 to start stun onto Valen, and Mitch mops it up, leaving only Leaf on the lurk, who's already caught off guard.
करेंगे.
And C9 back
आसपास है
in
भाई.
action
गोट है
here.
गोट.
Lock down A main and win the
मैं
round.
करते करते
I
देखेंगे.
really liked how Vic sort of baited out a lot of those shots first, right? He's the guy being seen initially, so if G2 are walking to that space, they see that shoulder peek, it's like, oh, maybe it's just the Aster here. Then there's a clone on the right side, or Yoru swinging on the left. There's a Sova Dart pinging out as well.
अच्छा खेला ना?
Very quick to spring that trap.
Nice, guys.
भाई इससे अगर ट्रेड्स वेड्स लेंगे ना ये लोग जीत जाएंगे मेरे साथ. वाइब आ रहा है मेरे को अंदर से C9 करके वाइब आ रहा है.
And through all that, they didn't actually find out about Oxy's operator.
चार और
Sure,
round,
they have
चलो.
their suspicions
चार और
and
round.
have quite a bit of utility to deal with it.
There's those
Penners
missiles
plus
that are
streaming
always
take rest.
sending. When G2 want to scale up into this B long space, that's also an attacking Aster smoke to block off the lines from the ground. Sure, it gives Oxy a way to reposition, but it also threatens that G2 could be put
Chal
all
bhai,
the
sab badhiya.
way right behind it. That's why actually the Cypher cam or the trip is a little bit useful, because it still denies that quick pop out into the site behind their own star.
Dhanraj bhai done.
Cat's going back into mid. As it's a very slow round for G2. Oxy's
जानबूझकर आपका
posted
लेट
on
हो रहा है
this
क्योंकि
angle.
आप मेंबर नहीं बन रहे हो इतना पैसा होने के बाद. ये एक रीजन हो सकता
Again,
है.
it's always Valen trying to take the first contact and bait
अभी
it, but
सोचो इस बारे में.
unfortunately Zeppa was seen. Maybe it's actually intended because the stack from C9 is actually more towards B. Sova, last round was in the A main space. This time, it's tag teamed ready to pinch and take this fight.
Net tucks away. So
Mitch
Mitch
को
is
मारना
on an
पड़ेगा.
island, but no one's looking at him. Mitch
मार दिया
controls
bro.
the spray, and he's
मार
rewarded with a
दिया.
double. And now you have to turn face to Oxy. Has a couple angles to
बस
worry
belong
about
देखने
here.
गया उससे को.
The player through street, the two still in long, but a dash popped in a perfect position for Oxy to go mad. Not time on the re-rack of the ball, but his team has got his back, and Trent just not enough HP to try and make that one happen.
Good cover from Net, protecting his op there, getting all the trades down.
Binks भाई
And
heavy
I
salesman
genuinely
बन
think
जाते
Zeppa
हो watch party
intentionally
series
got
में.
pinged by the drone.
करना पड़ता है.
Yeah, he might have been trying to cross over, but it did exactly what C9 wanted G2 to do, which was to pivot back into B, do what G2 should have actually done on the
Chops
last
पे
round.
भाई.
Except this time, C9 with the slight adjustment,
आती
moving
पसंद है
their
आपको?
Sova's position, completely catches G2 off guard. Bro, get off your phone!
Nice, baby.
Guys got a
There
lot.
is always one guy
I
chat.
didn't mean to yell. Didn't mean to yell.
There is always one.
Get back on your phone. It's a timeout. It actually really doesn't matter. No, you're totally fine.
It does matter for G2
Chat
though.
me.
They've lost 2 rounds in a row
Binks
now.
after India. कौन
And I
से
think both of
country
them have just come down
की
to kind of
सबसे
tough
ज़्यादा
balls in the mid-round. In that
audience
first
है?
one, calling
अभी
it
तो
back
वैलो सीन में तो
into the
इंडिया
inmate
पीछे
space,
है ऑडियंस
losing the
के
brawl there.
मामले
Here,
में.
coming out unfavorable of the push
बाकी
into
regions
street.
काफी ऊपर है.
I'd say C9 have just been one step
But
ahead
बढ़ रहे. We
on
are on
those
a
two
good
moments.
growth.
I also think that C9 counter to the rounds they were losing earlier over on the B site. You see Net in a round like that last one, finding that little angle, playing around sort of the curvature of that one-way smoke, still being able to trade at his teammate.
Reminder,
Annoying spot to have to
4
play.
मेरी
You are
चुस्की
a
ले
little
लो
bit
खत्म
exposed,
लास्ट
but
चुस्की
knows
है.
exactly how much room he has to work with.
And C9 have some of the best combo ults you could with this comp. Aster Wall, Sovalt,
चुस्की
Yoru Wall,
खत्म.
all online. A lot of
अभी
options
आधी
you can
कप
cook up
बनी
here.
है
Super
बची है
strong
लेकिन
retakes as
बनाने का
well.
नहीं है मेरे को बस हो गया.
Looks like C9 coming out of the timeout do want to do that little B-long
देखिए
setup.
देखिए नहीं आके गई हो
Yoru
स्ट्रीम
Jet playing
पे.
together.
फ्रॉम
Expect
पाकिस्तान
to
नाम ले
see
लो.
Jet left on
एक
her own.
दफा love
Then a
you
teleport
इस भाई
over.
कैसे मेरी जान
G2 could punish
करोटे.
this though by just ripping it into A.
Yeah, G2 have done this main fight a couple times. They've never hit the site off of it.
कैसा ना एक
This is also the
एक
first time they've
एजेंट की वजह से
actually gotten this far forward so
early fight
quickly, I
ले
think.
ही
But
नहीं
as I
सकते.
was saying, right, like these rotates
हाँ?
come in real swiftly off of the B site because of where Jet
लोटस रहेगा
able to make
रबल
it down
फाइट नहीं ले
B-long.
सकते. ये रहेगा एमिन फाइट नहीं ले
Question is,
सकते.
will this split be able to pay off? Because right now, C9 with those two
सीधा
players in
back
back
foot पे
side,
जाना
they're
पड़ता
going to look
है
to throw down some anchor smokes with the Cypher cages and flood on in. Deny any chance for G2 to get a quick plant down.
You want to fight it?
Aster Wall from the attack. C9, the 3 players ready to work through. That cage is perfect to flood.
Look at that go.
Armageddon's not going to do anything really. Sovalt now coming in, but G2, they
भाई
open this
अच्छा Sovalt
round.
था
Past the
लेकिन
wall though. C9 have a bit of an island. But on the other side,
उसे नहीं
that'll
वो
allow
लोग
the
बे.
plant to come down from G2. That's unless someone has something to say about that one. The ult's use, spam trying to come
Bro.
through. It's pandemonium on both sides. But G2,
इधर ही
a
इधर
bit
ही
of an
बोलिए.
armistice, a bit of time to hold towards Arc.
इधर
Yeah,
ही
G2 just have
इधर
to
ही
pause,
बोलिए.
wait for these ultimates to time on out.
30
Now
seconds
they can
left.
reset for the fight
they
if they
pivoting?
want.
ऑक्सी
They
का
have the option.
राउंड.
They want to threaten it, so they make a little bit of noise, but it's only 25 seconds left
नहीं
down
बे
on the
यहाँ
clock.
पे ही
meaning
है.
4 players here.
कुछ कर सकते क्या? कुछ यूटिल्स है.
That is
फॉक
ready to
कुछ
hold
यूटिल्स नहीं
strong.
है.
And Vic, he's made Eclipse happen in this position before. A chance to do the same. G2 10 seconds. That's what needs to
Oh,
come down. Just trying to do the job. His teammates, they need to protect. Ult's coming in. C9 holding. And it's a 2 versus 3. Jonah, amid it all, finds a kill. Oxy's arriving very late, but he finds the shot true.
Mark 2.
A 1v2. Jonah in an off angle, but he
Oh,
swings straight into the operator.
Finally, Oxy has a chance to play around out. And he locks it up for C9. I mean, that stall was beautiful. You could see it unfolding. G2 had good positioning on the map, but C9 didn't give any early fights over. They throw down a combination piece of both the Cypher cages initially to keep G2 slowed down, and then the Astral Wall
Right now I can name
comboed with the Yoru Wolves. G2 just ran themselves out of the clock.
And at the most basic macro level, the last 2 rounds, Oxy has been able to walk up almost at the beginning of the round, deep into B main, full contain that space.
That's what you
Yes, move, you
and allow his team to basically 4-stack heavy on the A side of the map and play these really quick floods.
ब्लॉक हो गया तो इतना प्यार से गाली दिया उसने.
It's like G2 want to stop that from happening.
Huh?
Not necessarily even aware of that walk down the previous round, but opening up stronger into B. And even when they have opened here, Oxy has never found an early kill with the off. He's always fallen back. He found one backside.
आदित्य भाई आपके
That's it
चैनल के
previously.
डेमोग्राफिक का पूछ रहे हैं मतलब.
Calls in that quick Yoru teleport.
Oh, मेरे को नहीं
Oxy
मालूम.
popping the blades. Nearly found a piece of Jonah. A
Oh
Giotimo, okay, just within the flashes, the cages, everything. Oxy, that's only 1 from him. You would have thought he might have found that adjustment. G2 get the plant down. And Giotimo towards spawn. Pushing into them. Vic, he was prepared, he was ready. But it wasn't enough when you're facing the dog. 3v2. What's going for more? 20 health on that kill. And Trent ends it with a sheriff shot. G2, what a way to fire back.
We're just winning half buys like that, I guess. Jogamo just went flying into backside. I think that was a net anchoring from C9. I have no idea what happened to him. But him falling and Jaw getting to
क्या इंडिया आसपास जैसे प्लेयर्स प्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं देवांशु भाई तुम्हें गर्लफ्रेंड नहीं मिल रही है प्रोड्यूस कहाँ से करोगे
And even on 20 HP is winning these fights back spawn. C9 can't be letting that happen.
थोड़ा मसला हो जाता तो language read by
They're going back to it. This time with a Yoru ult.
This time Oxy's playing up. He wants the early pick.
But he already takes one shot. Has to get away, but he still has his dash. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him. Has to dash all the way back. Missiles at the feet of Net Jojimo out into the halls again. But the operator, it's down to very good from Trent and Jonah to hold. That's a tripwire kill! A trip kill in the midst of a round like this. That grabs Net. Oh, Thorn's kill! What the hell is going on?
It's just a utility fiesta on the B-bomb site. Cloud9 and Mitch now with the operator in hand has crept back into the site. The drone is going to see him, but not see. He clicked over into the op. Now though the stall is being working down, Mitch has to be able to find an opener. G2 are just going to be able to win out on time, and they will. Vic is here. Maybe even looking for a half stick. The spam coming in. Hold on. No, not again. Not again. The missiles to pull him away. And now another chance. Smoke in 3 seconds. He'll have just enough time to go for it if he needs. Not if he gets pushed, though. No, he's going down. Trent wins the round for G2 after all that.
A trip kill and a Thorns kill in the same round. I've never seen that before.
And people complain about Teo.
हे भगवान कोई तो रोको इस आदमी को अभी पढ़े की उम्र में प्रोड्यूस करवा रहा है क्वेश्चन तुमने पूछा बेशरम
It's just way too powerful. I thought they said abilities don't kill.
You're killing me, Mimi. You're killing me.
एसिडल को बोला आसपास को साइन करे तब मानू कोई बोला तेरे को मानने को हाँ
Well, Cloud9 unfortunately
मान करके
worse for wear this round.
मत मान
Economy is broken.
अपने को क्या
And they stacked towards A.
And that not even gonna overcommit to that fight. I'm curious because Vic's got a bulldog. He's gonna be able to do anything over on this side of the map. Because right now you can see a mid walk up from Cloud9 right now, seeing if they can maybe catch this rotator working back through mid. Shots aren't gonna quite be there though.
Humble bar. और निकुंज भाई कितना वोटल आज?
Look at A main too. We're all the way up from Vic. Oh, no one is ready for him, and he has the bulldog, but he can't get. Wow, C9 have had 3 chances they've just narrowly missed.
Yeah, G2 is looking.
गुस्सा नहीं मैं किधर गुस्सा किया?
50 seconds, a gap in the smoke. That was another chance, but I can't find it either. Mitch out on the site. Oh my God! A lateral on the Sheriff, but doesn't matter. Maybe not. G2 have traded this even in a 2v2, but Oxy still has a Sheriff in hand. And you know he's good for it. Balance low.
अरे मैडम आराम से.
1v2. A peek onto Oxy, but Oxy! He is so good for it. An eco round win for C9.
These rounds are just crazy. I mean, what is Mitch on that he's getting 2 kills there?
Oh, he didn't see either of them. Just running through the smoke. Jonah perfectly walks into the bullet.
And then Oxy swinging back for the second fight there too. Man.
डिफेंडिंग मैप पे चिल करो ये डिफेंडिंग मैप है
Another fight for A main.
इतने टाइम से किसका वॉच पार्टी देख रहे हो भैया जी?
Oxy within his own cloud burst is dealt with, but Mitch again finding his impact. Trades are through, and G2 this time successful. There's still 1 player left though. That's Net. And a smoke to help him hold.
G2 are going to freeze the round because somehow Leaf has made it past the Cypher camera in street, and they know that because the whole time Net was fighting, he couldn't click into the camera. Now this position is unexpected, and it's possible Leaf even heard the rotate in through spawn.
This is a
he has no idea.
Call.
He has no idea.
Leaf has made it into B.
Scott क्या वो लोगों को तो सीधा सेव करना पड़ेगा.
I think so सीधा save. Trent is going to plant the spike, which then gives him his own Tejo ulti. On top of the missiles, on top of a drone in post plant, G2 have beautiful utility to just stall this out permanently. You're even going to have sucks on the bomb from the Astra.
And while you're waiting for all of that, Leaf is just going to be there to fight and buy time.
Save.
The util players fall back to long.
Leaf has a flash setup on these players coming out from CT.
उतना ऐसा बाकी इधर आके
As soon as
सेव
the smoke
करना
goes
चाहता
down,
उधर
I
ही
think
सेव
he
कर.
used that to get the ping. He doesn't
W
see
call,
anything
W
there, not
call,
playing the
W
round.
call.
And it makes sense. You think about it, right? 2 players in the next round would not have been able to buy guns.
Yep.
So they need to keep these 2 online.
Yep.
Oxy will have enough for an operator. That's going to be C9's hope of keeping things within 2 rounds going into the second half.
Main question is कि ये map है ही क्यों? ये map अच्छा है. देखो.
Yes. It's so good too, because you probably don't go for a timing like that unless you know that the Cypher is in the midst of a fight. He doesn't have the moment to check the cam. That's the weakness of doing a cam in stream as opposed to just a regular old tripwire.
Hello?
G2 up 7-4 now.
Binks भाई घर से आवाज इतनी मत करो. बाजू में सो रहा हूँ. मेरे बाजू में खिड़की है.
Good for a kill. Use that your ult to body block and set up for the Sova to ping twice.
Trent still has Armageddon, so getting into a post plant would be
GTA
big.
से मेरा tough seat.
Reclearance
End of the day देखो सबको सबके साथ लड़ने के playoff में.
Out of match.
इतना matter नहीं
They
करेगा.
did that off the buy splash.
इतना ज़्यादा playoff में
Well,
doubt
but
कितना
G2
matter
weren't able
करेगा.
to actually get inroads towards Street.
Not sure what that wall did to Jaw. Jaw certainly got the upper hand. Here we go. Tag team setup. The 2 duelists of C9. Only Zeppa seen
ये तो
so
अच्छा
far.
मैं fracture को देख के क्यों आता?
You cannot have
Fracture और
Zeppa die
abyss
here.
थोड़ा सा.
He has the Yoru wall. They might just use it early.
Oh, and the Sova ult positioning is really nice here.
He spots out one. Mitch pops the ultimate. How many can he attack here? I think that's a double the start. How much more? Oxy's down, and the Sova ult doesn't get a kill. Zeppa's out of the ult, straight to his death. And it's a cataclysmic round for Cloud9.
On paper, that was beautiful, and now the tripwire. Mitch is going to be able to punish. This art fight could be everything. Great
भाई
timing
डर क्या
seized
रहेगा
by
भाई.
Cloud9.
Leaf डर
2
क्या
on
रहेगा.
3
Leaf
now.
डर क्या रहेगा.
And guns picked up, but they're ulted off. No noise. Doesn't
2 on 2.
matter for Mitch, as Valen is very low, but it's a plant for
डर
backside.
पड़ेगी क्या?
One cage on net.
Mitch has some shocks here too.
Had
Valen
to
is
use
so
the cage,
low.
though. Trent's already working a reroute. Missiles in 10 seconds. Another tap. There's the kill for Trent. But down goes Valen. Mitch trying to win this one out. The damage is good. But Trent's running for the hills. He'll tuck, hide. The shock dart. Couldn't do it. Not quite. Trent again elusive in this round. The shocks again. Could this be the one? Not again. Mitch holding. Trying to get this one halfway. And he gets the kill. It's close.
He's got it.
Mitch down to the wire, and he's done it.
Bro.
C9 rally back to 5-7 off of a beautiful clutch from their leader.
That is crazy. I mean, Mitch, so close with the ult, so close with both shock darts. It's his rifle that gets the job done in the end. Top of the charts, the Red Bull clutch. Keeping it competitive. The second half is going to be close.
सेम ही चीज होता है उसमें ऑलमोस्ट. क्रेजी था. ओ Q2 बच्चा देख. वो टाइम से सपोर्ट कर रहा है भाई. फोरवी2 आ रहा. अच्छा खेला लेकिन टेक्निकली 4v2 नहीं था, 3v2 था. ये वो ट्रिप में फंस के मारा ना, वो तो कुछ कर भी नहीं सकता था. और उसकी वजह से 800 वाले का टाइमिंग हो गया. आपका घोड़ा दिल्ली में क्या कर रहा है? बहुत बड़ा घोड़ा है. बिंगदा कैसे बॉट भाई? सब बढ़िया सब बढ़िया. आप कैसे हो मेरी जान के रोटे? ये जो 2 बार आपने मेरे पे मुंह पे जी पे फेंक के मारा है बिना बताए, कैसा लग रहा है आपको? हाउ डज इट फील? माइक आपके मुंह पे. फुल इग्नोर कर रहे हो आप घोड़े को. दुखी होके भाग जाऊंगा. मत भागो, अभी भी लिए मेंबरशिप.
We're into the final
कौन
half
जीतेगा?
of the
I
regular
think-
season for two of our top teams
I
in
think
America.
I have a strong
C9 and G2, they're
feeling
both vying for the
C9
number
जीतेगा.
1 seed out
मत
of this
करो.
group.
अरे तो
And as a
बोलो
reminder,
तो
that
सही,
means
जी पे
they would
करोगे
be
तो.
just a match away
मेरे को
in
thank you
playoffs
बोलने का तो
from
मौका दो.
qualifying to Toronto.
Yeah, everyone stop what you're doing. Look at the bottom of the screen right now. It's very simple. G2 win, they're our number 1 seed. No
इतनी
ifs,
मेहनत
ands, or
करते हो
buts.
आप.
But
Love you
because
Binks भाई. Love you
C9
देवांश
lost the map,
भाई.
even if they win this series, even
और
if they
बाकी
win
सब
this
कैसे चल रहा
game,
बॉट भाई?
they still
सब बढ़िया?
require MIBR dropping a
Binks
map
भाई, how are you?
to
सब बढ़िया.
FURIA.
Dropping the game, that is.
For group
If
4
MIBR
team
just drop a
qualify
map,
होगा
then
for
it's
playoffs.
G2 who takes that
और
bye.
उसके बाद 2
MIBR,
टीम
their
जाएगा
fate would
for
stay in their own hands.
But
All they
that's
have to do
Toronto.
is stop Furia.
Masters.
That's the thing. The two,
Our
the
regions.
third and fourth are pretty unlikely if you consider the
Yeah.
state of the league right now. MIBR are looking quite hot, so
And Furia is winless.
exactly. So MIBR are C9's biggest fans heading into
Language
the second
fafda.
half.
G2, they want to make it simple though. Win this one out, get the bye, make it to Toronto, and try and win the league again.
Yeah, that'd be great for G2.
It's a dream.
If only C9 weren't putting up a fight.
If only they had gotten this done in 2, but they've
Who's
got a
guessing
real
in
close
there,
opponent
Fuka?
here in C9. Well, they've got themselves the A site.
अब रीटेक कैसे करेंगे ये लोग
C9
देखने का
played
है.
very active in their post plants ever since
बहुत
that
tough
second
है
map of
retake.
Haven. Doesn't look to be slowing down anytime soon. Oxy getting inside the smoke.
Smoke fades. Oxy and Zeppa, the two-man team. A drone, spot symbol, charge him up. Good night. What an adjustment from Zeppa. He's gonna go for more. Spam through. He'll have to TP away. And now 2 more players ready to overwhelm him. Net.
Hold on, Net's on the wrap. Net plays the first, and now the players turn around. G2 still up.
But there's still players tucked on this side, and no one's looking at Mitch. But the trades from G2 again. Every player routed, every member dealt with. And Vic down to 13 health. He's going to
time है?
G2. 8th round,
Time है.
just in the nick of time.
अरे यार एंटी था यार. बहुत
Good
क्या लड़े
response
बे.
from G2. It felt like C9 got like 3 kills
हाथी का
that
L
round,
will
where
take
the
2-3
G2 guy
weeks
was
to
looking
get
complete opposite
back to
direction.
normal.
But every
Done
time
it.
that happened,
Done it.
G2
Done
had
it.
a second, third player ready to trade
L
them
पहला.
out. That's what kept it together for
मेरे
G2, the fundamentals.
स्क्रीन पे एक
Even
लाइन
in
सा
that
आ रहा
2-on-1
था.
there at the end.
चला गया.
Vic, swing there, brother. Good.
करण भाई क्या लैंग्वेज है ये? 150 में हेलो क्यूटी. अपग्रेड करो मेंबरशिप.
Well,
बता दो बंक्स भाई क्या
C9
चीज?
not going to be going for a force like we saw G2 do.
वॉच पार्टी करो इस इवेंट पे
Got
मजा
a couple
आएगा.
more rounds to play
देखते
with
हैं.
than G2 did.
Keep your head down and work hard.
I do like, though, on a eco like this, C9 trying to work the map a little bit, see where that Vise utility is going to be defaulting, try and pick up on the info G2 are giving you. And what have they learned so far? Well, not much of a
How are
fight
you?
down
How
to
is your
B,
back?
but that Fade is prowling out in
All
art.
Gucci.
Seems like
Shit में
pretty
हो
likely
सकता है. Quality
G2
का
are
माँ भी
leaning
क्यों रखा
towards
है?
the A side of the map. C9 are going to log that away from future use.
Judgment with the Marshall. Clean opener. He
Wow.
won't get greedy.
Look at the flash and haunt combo there, pinging 3 players.
Bro.
No one can shoot it.
Bro.
So full info gain for G2. Just realizing that Net is the unseen player and doesn't look like Trent
अब
is gonna be
देखोगे
fooled
क्या
by that.
MIBR versus
Nah, he's ready for
Mark
it.
V.
Yeah, he knew, because it's like, wait a second, Cypher wasn't seen A main. I've got a guy over in Street that hasn't seen anything. This guy
हर
has to
रीजन
be
से
coming
दो
into
कौन
me
सी
or he's
टीम
baiting
जाएगी?
spawn.
योर गेस. इतना
Or
चेरी अपने
baiting
काप
spawn.
में डालो.
He's down on the floor in art.
प्लेऑफ तो चालू होने दो, तब मालूम पड़ेगा.
2 players left
Go.
for C9 and
Okay.
okay. I mean, a little dramatic with the spam through the smoke. That's
69
9
shot out
rounds
मिलेगा रात
to
को?
Tuesday, though.
If I'm up there, I've never muted
Rude,
so
माफ
quickly.
करे, माफ करे.
Just spamming that Marshall.
Abhishek, bye. Thank you for the $1
See what
मेरी
the
जान
approach
के
is for
टुडे.
C9 here. You know, because last round their info tells them that it's the active scouting
भाई
utility of
crazy
a
shot
Fade,
था ना
of
वो.
a Teho playing towards art.
दूसरा
So maybe
shot
there's
भी crazy था,
opportunities
लेकिन
for solo
पहला
lurkers
shot
to
बहुत
find
crazy
timings
था.
in mid. Because where's the Vise utility at?
Rude बड़ा bunks.
This guy has max ammo glitch on his Marshall. What is
Seemed
Split
that
कब
way.
से? Next month से. Next month.
So G2, they're going to fight for space in A main. their defense is going to be a lot less reliant on these forward walk-ups on B, whereas C9 was fighting for both extremities pretty much every round. They can fall back and play up that VCT a lot more often.
I think what C9 want to be able to threaten is A, for sending this clone down to be able to break the wall, but it gets spammed away. Nicely done. I believe that was actually Trent shooting that one from back CT, so the Vise wall is still intact. And that sort of removes the threat of C9 pop execing into B from behind the
membership le lunga.
Makes this A flash all the more likely.
And look at the forward lines. Jajmo walked up A main. Jonah P walked up in Art. Oh, Jonah, they're very close to him. And he's not long for this world.
Diving left right ho gaya be.
Talk can get anything. Maybe a shot with the Marshall, not today. C9's duelists get entry into A.
Yeah, you turned on the infinite ammo glitch. You forgot to turn on the actual aim assist. Not gonna be too much use for him on that one. C9 clearing away things pretty calmly in this round. Apart from Valen slipping on through.
Seemingly always gonna get one with the Stinger.
भाई मेरे को ऐसा विनेबल वाला वाइब्स क्यों दे रहा है ये राउंड?
And honestly, some damage wouldn't hurt.
Look at all the angles C9 have in the post.
Oh, they know where he is. If he had gotten that kill on Mitch, maybe
Valen को मारना था रे, Valen को मारना था.
they'll lock this one up and lower that gap down to 3.
Abhishek bhai, thanks for the $1 more.
$9 at the moment.
RP Champs के बाद में
really well too.
अभी नहीं.
He's that guy that was pretty controversial for C9 to bring back. Obviously, played well at the Red Bull home ground qualifier.
Thank you for the $1 more मिर्जान कुर्रे. $2 दे ही दिया, मतलब membership भी ले सकते हो. Just say.
Back when Leaf was on the team.
Just say.
Yeah, back when Net was on the guard, which was G2.
सुबह shout out मिला भाई.
Yeah, they did the whole merry-go-round seats changing between these two teams. Let's all come together. That's a Yor ult into A.
But he has a TP ready to go back into B. So he pressures A, and now he's going to clear out the B site. And he's going to spot out the operator.
Hello. Peekaboo.
A flash. Jaw is forced to use his TP. That's very nice to fake out
and seeing there's no Vise utility, so C9 can get quickly into the site. G2 ready to flood.
That they are. On flash, all going in. That's a scan, but no kill. Plant committed.
क्या लगता है?
G2 were considering the flood, but can't go for it. Instead, just have to play kind of a set retake now. Smoke still up in their face.
Good scouting to see a couple now. The pin now we're going back into sight. G2 trading out evenly to start things off, but just like that, it's all Trent, all on his own. Spike not planted for C9.
He has the ultimate though, and in the 1v2 that could be big. No, there's a gap. Vic though just pushing, running, and winning.
Shot,
the artillery. That is
उसने
impressive out of C9's rookie.
Not just to win that round there, but
match कब है कल? दोपहर को है.
Tejo from the other
D
side.
versus PRX.
I like that pathing, like you were saying, because
एक क्वेश्चन था, सुबह जितना करते हैं उसमें हर एक का 30% वाइट लेते हैं या लमसम मिस है.
I love that.
TP is great.
Another thing from that round is Mitch immediately.
प्रणीत भाई, हाथी पसंद है आपको? अभी एक बंदे ने फॉर एग्जांपल 100 दिया, उसका अलग से लिया यूट्यूब ने 30%, कितना गया 30. और समझो मेरे को लमसम मिला 300, उसमें से यूट्यूब ने लिया 30%, कितना गया 90. तो मतलब सेम हुआ कि नहीं हुआ? हाँ, सेम हुआ कि नहीं? एग्जाम कभी है? Nice explanation.
A lot of times you'll see Jet sort of dash up and over.
Abhishek bhai देखो तो $1.
Could be an option this time, I don't think.
ये लोग भी बहुत
broken
पसंद
this
है.
time. Double dive in. G2 pushing through. Jaw finds it with the classic, and Zeppa, he's alone, walled off from the rest of the team. And C9, for what could have been a beautiful double dive play, instead it's all going so wrong. Ping pong, they swing in and start to fall. Mitch, he's been electric this game, and Vic as well, there to help. They bailed their team out of this.
जैसा सवाल था, देख रहा था कि नींद में है कि नहीं. Lol dudes.
Back with the advantage. Now these players are a bit low. Single shot to the head is a kill. Just trying to bait out, and now the position is known, even with 20 seconds. Trying and shouldn't be able to get out of this.
Love you,
checkpoint.
thank you for the $3, Abhishek. Bye.
Timing on the next tap. Are you kidding?
Bro.
Are you joking?
It's just a stinger.
He's
Bink
waiting
is
for it to stick.
sticking the plant. The
Oh
swing.
my.
The stinger. Trent. Oh my. How has he pulled that round out of absolutely
Abhishek bhai,
nowhere?
membership
That
का मेरे
is
को लगा
just
काश दोस्त वाला membership
ridiculous
लोगे.
for Trent to catch a break in that situation.
अभी दोबारा
Red Bull
explain
clutch.
करो,
That
समझ
stinger has
नहीं
20
आया.
bullets.
Ali
He is out of
bhai,
ammo in half a second.
एक
How
कर
does he
लोगे
get
क्या
a
मेरा?
spam kill?
Thank you for the
Unreal.
10 Australian American
Vic just
dinars
going
मेरी
for the
जान
stick
के रोटे. Love you.
With so little time, it's so
Love
hard to
you.
play that round.
And just a smile on his
Thank
face.
you for the
after winning
membership,
that
Abhishek
round.
bhai.
I honestly
ये
I
round
can't
नहीं
believe it.
जीतना था
I
बे.
can't remember the last time G2
G2
caught a
को.
break on this map in a
यार
late
चलते
round.
चलते
Like,
stinger
even the
मारा
last
यार.
round of the half, Trent's in that 1v1 and he ends up
Safe
falling.
plant किने किया लेकिन
This
right
map has
side पे.
been so brutal for them.
इसे
In the
American होता है ना?
one-on-ones, the two-on-ones, all those moments.
Can you give any
That
comments
might
on
have
the
been what
round?
pushes G2
यार
over
late
the
game
edge
वो लोग
to
थोड़ा
first
left
place
right
finish
खेल
in the
लिया
group.
यार. 2v1
Checking out the
situation वो
money
लोग
right
better
now,
खेल सकते
C9
थे.
could buy 3 rifles if they wanted to.
इतना
But
trade
it's a
इसलिए
bit
हुआ कि वो
grim.
लोग को भी पता है
Oxy's
B
off
आते हैं, B
knives,
पसंद है वो
so
लोग
it
को.
might not be the worst purchase. I could see a world where C9 choose to force up
But
into this.
2v1 थोड़ा सा.
Looking at the last few seconds here, it seems like that's going to be the case. My biggest concern for them, I think,
Safe
is
plant करके
they're
अगर
sort of
कोई
banking
बाहर आके
the
मारता भी था ना
entire
क्योंकि
series.
स्विंगर है
They're
long
banking their
distance पे.
placement
दूसरा बंदा swing
the
करके
group
मार
stage
देता था आराम
on
से.
this
जो safe
round
plant
because
कर
they're
रहा.
forcing up. They're not going to have money
Dead
next
था,
round.
उसके बाद
And
रे बता.
G2 have some killer ultimates they're going to be able to tap into. C9 are
रेड के बाद
facing
उसने
against
टैप किया ना
brutal
जिससे
odds this
उसको
time.
मालूम पड़ा वो बंदा है और बाद में वो रैंडम मारा ना.
Keep up.
It all comes down to this round for Cloud9. G2, a
There's
Yoru
A
ult
के
to
आगे
work with.
E hidden है. That's a
And
good
the
point.
buys this time again set up towards B.
And look at the positioning of Leaf too, right? If he thinks it's going to be a hit, he can pop that ultimate and just immediately stall out what C9 are trying to do. The only thing is, Oxy's knives would still be online.
भाई सीधा heaven जाएगा फिर कूद के back all जाएगा.
Viswall
देखना.
wasn't here this round.
देखना chat.
Just the Thorns. And the
देखा
Thorns
heaven गया.
try and stall out.
कूद के
Oxy
back all. बोला ना.
to back haul. Can he find a fight here? Valen around the corner. He was stunned, and he still gets that
Oh
kill.
my, look at C9 leaving. They can't even fight the map.
It's the exact ult you were talking about. Leaf pops it. They only have pistols. Oxy dies, and now they're in a
अभी
straight up
plan B भी नहीं है.
4v5.
4v5, but it's only 3 rifles. And
Huh?
it has a stinger. And again,
Abhishek bhai, thank you
Jogno,
for
if
the
he
one
wants
more
to, can
dollar
pop this
मेरी
ult.
जान के रोटे.
The positions that G2 also have sort of in
Card
French
अटक गया लग
backside,
रहा है एक
very
पे.
annoying, playing on the bottom of pillar, playing in backside, can fight off each other nicely. And now that there's not a jet to dash smoke, sort of clear both those angles as she goes in,
30 seconds left.
C9 are going to have to be perfect on the approach.
Good morning sir जी.
It's into Leaf and Valen.
भाई इतना
Dart
जल्दी कोई
catches
सब
onto him.
कैसे उठ
That's a very
सकता है
good
भाई.
start. And Valen amid the pull is taken
Huh?
down as well. So
One
it's an
dart.
even
इतना जल्दी कोई
3v3.
इंसान
but
कैसे
that's the
उठ सकता
ultimate
है
use.
बे.
Jaw spots out too. Where's that third player? Hiding in back hall. It's perfect info for G2. Can they win it still? Vic, that's a very good kill to find a second from C9. They're
Chat,
making
C9 is
something
winning this
for
chat.
this
C9
round.
is winning this. अभी वो लोग
Somehow
इको है.
pull it off in the
9-10.
3v3.
और फिर अल्ट
Yoru
आएगा.
won't be damned.
10-10.
C9 had no business winning that one. But really, it was just Mitch's dart, I think, that ruined this
सर
round.
जी कैसे लग रहा है
Not sure if
शादी
you
के बाद
consider
इतने
what
सुबह
actually
सुबह उठना
happened,
पड़ रहा है
but
आपको.
Dart goes
How does it
unbroken.
feel?
He's taken down. And then everyone can swing 180 degrees, deal with Vic no problem.
He used his own Vice flash up high behind him, so I think he had
Yeah.
to turn to
बंग
look
भाई
away from
support
that.
कर.
And as he was turning
बंग
back,
भाई किसको
he
support
was
कर रहे हो?
unintentionally flash dart combo. He didn't get blinded, but he
अब
had
से
to
मैं
turn
C9
for
बोल रहा
just
हूँ.
long enough to not break it.
That is... I
अंधे
don't
क्या
want to
सुनाई
hear
नहीं दे
that.
रहा.
I don't want to hear that. That's levels of tragedy.
It's
C9
the
ऑक्सी
tiniest
के लिए
things
थोड़ा
in
एक
Valorant,
soft
though.
corner है.
G2 still have a lead by 2.
इस भाई एक रिप्लाई दे दो
Yeah, but
विशाल
now they're
भाई
the
क्या
ones without a
सही.
buy in this round.
एक मस्त
Gonna
फोटो
start
भेजना है
slipping.
आपको.
Zeppa's one away from
किधर
the ultimate.
भेजूं
Like,
बताओ.
the fact that C9 only really used an Astro Wall
Insta पे?
a round ago means that now they're the ones that are starting to cycle up into some of these ultimates. And what really shocks me is that C9 have managed to win now 3 out of the last 4 without really doing anything in mid. Like, they've just done a lot of like B to A, back and forth. execing into the B site and haven't really had to do any of the slower macro rounds that G2 were trying to run with the pinches into art and all these things.
I would like to apologize. बंदा सुबह उठा नहीं है, सोया नहीं है. Like me gamer बोलते.
3 ready to take the fight A main. But what is C9 cooking? All 5 members of their team are primed in middle.
कैसे Binks भाई एकदम top quality. भाई क्या कैमरा है भाई.
Oxy could be walking into a pretty brutal trap.
Spy cam वाला type लग रहा है मेरे को ना ऊपर.
Into the space. I think Zephy used a flash in main. There's some stars. That was about it.
Yeah, G2 called away from their stack. Instead, they're all going to group towards A, which is still a great call. But they won't be rewarded for the play towards mid.
Yeah, now that clear into A main, but spotting nothing because C9 have done nothing. So far, C9 have really good info, though, because the camera in mid and Oxy there says there was no fight into that space. They've just seen 3 players of G2 fight into A and put this drone down. So they show 1 player, the Yoru. That's it. And now C9 are going to re-hit with the expectation that G2 have rotated away.
Double fake करके भी जाएंगे क्या
players close by.
Wow, the Prowler through Arc gives G2 false info as well. They might feel even safer over towards A now.
With that jet smoke spotted, though, that's going to be the cue to rotate back towards A. And this is very slow. A C is used in main from G2. This is still being sold on B, but G2 is not biting on it. In the corner, Jonah stunned. I don't think the Yoru saw him. There's missiles at his feet. That's 1. The classic for 2. Jonah does well. But can the team win the round off of
20 seconds left and Arsova is lurking through B. The spike is still back in main. C9 are winning the fight, but they still got to get that spike down.
Oxy, that's the kill he needed. The spike somehow fords the river.
10 seconds.
And Valorant,
really
could have been a G2 round, is now in a 1v3. Could he make something of this? The first kill already taken. A tap on the spike. Darts going in. An astral use. He believes in this clutch.
Okay.
He swings for the fight, but Zepa's holding it.
भाई क्या
At the risk of sounding mean, I believe that
भाई.
round was a good example of failing upwards from Cloud9. That was crazy. Like, going into this A site, 2 players died. There's so much lurking into A.
Alt
But
plus
then this
jet
fight
dash
back
में
into
भी वो बंदा
spawn, right?
spot नहीं
Oxy
हुआ
and
मतलब
Zephyr choosing to
थोड़ा
get
सा left
active.
में
It
था.
salvages what was almost a
Let's go,
disaster.
hey, that's all you. Let's go, baby.
If they lose that fight to the player
गलत मारा
rotating
भाई.
into Arc, they just lose the round.
Exactly.
Spikes on the floor.
Uh-huh.
But 2 rounds now where it comes down to a second of difference, and C9 comes out the better of it.
And C9's pivot out of the timeouts has been these 3-2 openers, right? Oxy moving with net to get into street, early cam to see the Vise jump spotting down on B. And actually, even Vic is going to be joining the party. C9 want to play a slow macro round. And I think that's going to suit them. The Prowler didn't see Vic.
Jonah on the jiggle. Vic
क्यों
holding
लग रहा
for
है
it.
जोना भी मरने वाला है?
Can he dodge the haunt? No. Caught by it.
Just half a second off. Less than that.
हैं लीफ ने मारा?
Be long?
वो HP
Just
पे?
swings into it and finds an opener here. Trent was way far up on A main. He'll be shoot away.
भाई 10
By the way,
HP पे?
Spike still very much back in spawn. So while Oxy's doing walkabouts in mid, C9 have to recover that. And yet if C9 pinch into A,
भाई ये winnable round तो है भाई.
first of all, get on the
Winnable
site
round तो
second.
है.
If they kill Jonah P, they
वो लोग
take a
right
huge
side में जा
ultimate
रहे
out
हैं.
of the retake equation.
These missiles could be perfect. That they are. What a stall.
वो लोग को
30
लड़ना पड़ेगा
seconds.
लेकिन.
A stun going in as well. C9 have to get a move on. Spike still not even making it onto the site. 20 seconds.
Retake खेल
A
रहे हैं.
flash ready to go. G2. It's Operation Stop the Spike for the end round. Is the hunt.
कोई
It's
hunt
just
नहीं
perfect.
तोड़ा.
Struggle for a kill, but the plant goes down successfully. But it's still a 5v3. And G2 are patient. They're spamming
भाई
away
Vic
at
का
Vic.
HP देखो.
Waiting on Leaf to lurk into Art, but
Oh,
he takes those shots. Now
shit.
C9's attention turns.
But that'll let his teammates out onto the site. They've killed the
Oh
anchor.
shit.
And now it's only a game about Art. Spam through the smoke for 2. Net! Has he done that? C9, are they pulling this back? Surely not. Surely Mitch can't pull this one off. The stick to half. The shorty in hand, a jump around the corner, but G2 lock up the round and make their way to 11.
Nearly got away with them with the spam kills through the smoke. But that was an excellent hold.
व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप का क्या सीन है? दो ग्रुप है, एक 150 वाला ग्रुप है जो आपने लिया है, वहाँ पे मैं चैट देखता हूँ, मैं करता नहीं हूँ, और एक काश दोस्त वाला प्रीमियम टॉप नॉच हाई क्वालिटी वाली व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप है जहाँ पे कम लोग हैं यार, तो वहाँ पे मैं चैट करता हूँ। कैसा ज्वाइन करने का ये नाइटबॉट बताएगा आपको। वो रहा, क्या लगता है चैट फंसेगा क्या?
full buying into this round. Money's going to be
What 150 वाला ग्रुप में मैं नहीं हूँ, कोई भी ज्वाइन कर सकता है, जो गिफ्टेड है वो लोग भी ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं, लेकिन गिफ्ट खत्म होने के बाद ग्रुप भी खत्म होगा। जस्ट
choose to do if they want to accelerate into the thorns or move back into net.
They might just go. Thorns finally used, and that will stall the exec.
I mean, 20 seconds into the round, we're getting double thorns. I'm pretty happy if I'm C9, but again, the main thing is seeing that the passive info of the Vise is on A.
Hunter's Fury, there's still a TP for Zeppa. He's here.
We TP'd with that?
Yes, arrived on the side. Same
kill onto
procedure.
Jojimo off the lurk, but they're sticking to their guns, holding strong in A, and Trent, 1 HP.
Beautiful.
Net on the other side with the follow-up, but the flood is here. A little quicker than Vic
क्यों
may have
लग रहा है
expected.
एक्चुअल में
Still,
C9
C9 have
जीतने
established
वाला
a
है
good post play.
Wait, they're
चैट।
stuck behind the wall. They can tap.
They can, and C9, they're going to feel rushed to make this fight happen. And updraft,
Up, down.
forward, Valen, too many angles. C9 win it.
Net with 4 on the round. I can sort of see it
अरे गिफ्टेड
unfolding.
नहीं, अरे
C9
गिफ्टेड
didn't
लिया
want
तो
to
भी बोल रहा
immediately
हूँ,
go
तो
for the
भी।
exec. First, they wanted to bait out the utility. But then because they see Vise on A side, it opens up the opportunity to lurk into mid. Net finding that timing, then being there to
बस
play
था?
off his teammate, fighting into art.
Words वापस लिख दो, कैसे
He'd be
ज्वाइन
the hype
करते
man
हैं?
for the squad.
And we talked about the money for C9. It's
व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप
G2
कैसे ज्वाइन
instead.
करते लिख दो।
Who is
और किसको
best
फिर
to
भी
do
नहीं
this
समझ
round?
में आ रहा है, मेरे चैनल पे जाओ और
this out. We're
कम्युनिटी
looking
पोस्ट
at
पे
a
क्लिक करो।
tie.
मेरा
Yeah.
रिसेंट मैसेज वही है, कम्युनिटी
A
पोस्ट।
lot of ecos in this series, but this time only one stinger, only one share for G2.
चैट 11-11
Trying to make sure they can have heavy armor
और
going
यूरो
into round
अल्ट है,
23.
एस्ट्रा अल्ट आएगा और नेट का भी अल्ट आ सकता है। तो अगर पहला फर्स्ट ब्लड ले लिया तो हेवी एडवांटेज और बाद में वो लोग वापस ही को जाएंगे।
Over the wall they go. And goodbye to the Vise.
Look at Oxy's pathing too, up into heaven, coming back with the, oh my word!
He's just spamming every smoke. No respect left in the tank for Oxy.
Not
There's a shorty, but it won't matter. Okay, Oxy. The double duelist makes some noise, and this game is tied.
बस सेल्स मैनेजर का पोजीशन वेकेंट है हमारी कंपनी।
Remember, a win here for C9 keeps them in the race.
क्या कंपनी जरा
The
बताओ
top
चैट में।
Omega group in first, reliant on that series between MIBR and FURIA. G2 winning, that's 5-0, that's them guaranteeing the bye. But it's all going to come down to these next 2 rounds.
And this is where you can't help but think about that final back in Bangkok. Had a close game on Pearl. Made it almost all the way back.
Language chat,
Lost
language.
out.
क्या है only funds?
They dropped their trophy.
Hold on, Jogma bought an operator. He's up on pillar, just
Oh,
going
yeah.
to break the drone. And now, Zeppa coming in will scout him out. You got to teleport out of this. You surely can't stick around and fight that.
एक
That
तो
would be
marketing ideas
crazy.
है।
He's gone indeed. And so too is any hope of G2 controlling this B site. Look how deep C9 already is on this post plant.
Ibn
They
भाई
wanna
का एक
fight
hot
hard because
photo
G2 have Yoru, Teho,
Example
and
दे
Vizel
सकते हैं
on the
अपन
retake
audience
this lurk in mid. Ned is going to find Leap, and that disrupts everything from G2.
G2 are still going in with the ultimate.
Chat,
Judgment.
4v5,
Your
they can
ult
trend
spots
ult
out
BT
one.
दे सकते हैं।
Armageddon is being used, but no one is going to get caught in that whatsoever. The C's, no audio. That'll get 1 kill for Jaws. Shona trades back as well. See the map? C9 is everywhere.
C9 are lurking back in spawn in street. Mitch has to find some kills. He's been so good for C9 today, but he falls. And now, G2 an option to get back onto the spike. Vic doesn't have the utility left anymore. It's being stuck on through. Vic in a 1-on-3 takes the first, but the stick goes on in G2. Half the round, G2 are 1 away.
सब अलग अलग खेल
What a
लिए।
recovery in that round for G2. And C9, you can't help but feel like that one slipped just out of
भाई
their hands.
देखना नहीं
They
था
had
तो बोला
control
ही
of it. They
क्यों?
had the
मतलब
post plant, and they wanted to play off
Reddit
site.
भाई ने
But
समझा।
so many of their players end up too far forward and just flood in one at a time, facing into 2v1s.
यार पूरा
They got
सीजन
the
का
opening
राउंड
pick.
था
It's a
ना।
5-on-4, but they played the round as if it was a
बेचारा।
3v4, as if they were the one down numbers. because of all those lurks.
सो जाओ, नींद तो आना चाहिए ना यारो.
And G2 still have 3 monster retake ultimates heading into the final round of the regulation.
यार थोड़ा
He's
जिंदा
been caught
रहता
on
ना.
this angle before.
बता दो.
Sees in, doesn't catch on to anyone.
He just wants players to move back into jaw.
अयो मॉर्निंग.
That's where our ops posted.
बैठ जो लोग अभी भी आए हैं स्ट्रीम पे लाइक कर दो मेरी जान के
Final
बेटो.
teleport of the round.
They're heading towards him. Jajimo. Do they give him a chance?
मेरा दिल.
Do they give him
अरे
an
या फिर पीक
opportunity?
ले या फिर पोजी चेंज करे यार.
That's been such a problem for G2 in this game. His
वो वाला
looks
एंगल दिखाओ.
blown up rounds.
But he's always picked his timings right. His team applying pressure towards A. Still, he's holding position. As his team gets stalled out, no one wants to be the first to make a mistake. It's a standoff in A. One player
standoff
holding
indoors.
it main. Jajimo falls off the angle, and now it's about the anchors. It's about G2 holding this site and locking it down. Finally, the
my
payoff.
God.
It's net to die. And it's C9, an inch away. So close to overtime.
There's no time, Mimi.
Oh my
20
God.
seconds, the op again. Jajimo, he's ringing through.
Unbeatable chat.
And the bell, it's
5-0.
ringing for Vic. Ja! The one to end it.
भाई
They couldn't
विनेबल
do
तो
it
था
back in
सीनन के लिए.
Bangkok on
वो
this
राउंड
map, but
बीटी दे
this
दिया
time,
यार.
in a close affair, they keep
वो
their
राउंड
streak.
बीटी दे दिया.
G2 undefeated
बिग
in
में बहुत
America.
ट्रैश टॉक किया
And
आप
the
G2
first
और
seed
जगमो
from
को
their
आज.
group.
G2 staying strong here. And look, it was entertaining. Those maps back and forth, stomps 1 and 2. But Pearl was right down to the wire.
They're one game away from Toronto now. For Jonah P, one of the Canadian players in this league, I'm sure it would mean a lot to make it to that event, to try and redeem themselves for the loss in Masters 1.
मैं किया?
I'm just thinking about all those
Self doubt
moments
पे डाल दिया मेरे को.
where G2 were able to show up in that final map.
C9, they were this close to taking down America's best
अरे
team.
पूछ रहा है वो आपको
And you know they're
क्वेश्चन
going to
मार
be a
के.
beast in the
नहीं
playoffs.
मैंने नहीं किया.
But today, it's
ऐसा बोलने का
G2
ना.
making it through again.
ए बे जर्सी तो है बे.
Gotta shout
जर्सी
out
तो है.
what Trent was able to do on that final map. I mean, he was shooting
Huh?
out there, so clutch in those late round moments
बे,
as
और
well,
तो है.
getting the breaks. The G2 have been
लेकिन
looking
C9
for
जीत सकता
consistently.
था.
That was the difference maker in
C9
this
बाहर
one.
गए क्या? C9 क्वालिफाई हो चुका है. G2 भी क्वालिफाई हो चुका है. सारे टीम्स एनए में क्वालिफाई हो चुके हैं. वो लोग अभी सिर्फ सीडिंग के लिए खेल रहे हैं. सीडिंग के लिए. मतलब किसका मैच किसके अगेंस्ट होगा, पहला मैच कौन खेलेगा, छोटा छोटा जो एडवांटेजेस है उसके लिए वो लोग खेल रहे हैं. अच्छे भाई क्या लैंग्वेज है? सीरियस हो गया? मेरे डाउट पे हो गया. अरे बेंच में कब बोला करके. अब भी आया ऑफिस से और फिर आ गया चपना लेके. हो सही के ये सब का पैसा है फालतू का. 150 का मेंबरशिप नहीं ले पा रहे हो चपना लेके. शर्म आती है? एक दिन चकना नहीं कहोगे मेंबरशिप ले सकते हो महीने भर तक का. सोचो इस बारे में. सोचो. हेलो जेरी बाय. अब आप टोरंटो आप आ रहे हो क्या? नहीं. विभा आपको पता है फ्यूरिया किसकी टीम है? एनी गेस? जिसकी भी टीम में परफॉर्म नहीं कर रही है, मतलब एकदम ही नहीं कर रही है. दैट इज वन ऑफ द रीजंस कि हल्का सा कैजुअल मन ही नहीं है मेरे को नेक्स्ट मैच देखने का. अच्छा ये मैच में देखते देखते सो जाओ. ये आसपास मारेगा वो भी बहुत गलत. क्रिस पटेल भाई थैंक यू फॉर द मेंबरशिप मेरी जान की टुडे. ऑल गुड. नेक्स्ट वीक वेकेशन. ए वेकेशन क्या होता है? तीन सौ का आधा चकना 2 मैचेस बोल. क्या बात कर रहे हो? मैं तो कभी ये सब नहीं किया यार. जुको ये क्या नाम है? गुड मॉर्निंग बस भाई, गुड मॉर्निंग। टेक्निकली सोना चाहिए भाई, एक्चुअल में सोना चाहिए भाई। 12 घंटा हो गया स्ट्रीम, और मैच भी कैजुअल है यार, सिर्फ आसपास मारेगा भाई, मोन्टाज वाला मैच है। और ये मैच मैटर भी नहीं करता। मेन मालूम है, मेरा आधा मन कभी मर जाता है जब मालूम पड़ता है कि ये मैच मैटर ही नहीं करता, समझ रहे हो? तब मेरे को ऐसा लगता है यार, वो वाला नहीं रहता है, समझ रहे हो? कि ये अगर जीता तो क्वालिफाई हो सकता है, ये हारा तो लग गए। जब वैसा वाला मैच रहता है थोड़ा मजा आता है देखने में। ऐसा मैच रहता है ना कि क्वालिफाई हो ही गया, फिर मन नहीं करता। दाल चावल या चिकन बिरयानी? दाल चावल बेबे। तभी से नेमार की टीम है। अरे लेकिन क्वालिफाई नहीं हुआ, आउट हो गए वो लोग ऑलरेडी। शुभम भाई लैंग्वेज सो जा, वैसे भी उम्र हो गई अभी। नींद तो मेरे को वैसे भी नहीं आ रहा, इसलिए मैं सोच रहा हूँ देख के सो जाऊं। सो जाओ, बेस्ट है वेदांती जी। बात तो है। ये चलो रे, चटकते इतने लोग ने बोल दिया सो जा सो जा। चलो सब लोग आसपास को देख के सोते हैं। कल अगर जी जीता तो $500 सुपर चैट करूंगा। ऋषभ, पहली बात, आज जीतेगा जी, आज, क्योंकि मैच आज है 7 घंटे बाद, टुडे। और ये जो बोला है ना, अगर नहीं, $500 अब भी सुपर चैट कर दो मेरे हिसाब से, क्योंकि जीत चुका है। मेरे पास ऑलरेडी लीक्स आ चुके हैं, लीक्स, समझ रहे हो? तुम लोग को मालूम नहीं रहता कि ये सब मैचेस ना डिले में चलते। रियल ट्रूथ मेरे को पता है। क्या लगता है ऐसे सब प्रेडिक्शन तेरा भाई कैसे देता है? 100% प्रेडिक्शन। या मैं यूएस में हूं ना बैंक्स, देन दैट्स अ गुड वन। लव यू। कल जीतेगा जी। सीधा सोने जा भाई, वो देखने मत जा भाई। मेरे को ऐसा नींद नहीं आता है सीधा सोएगा, मेरे को नींद नहीं आता है, मैं देखते देखते सो जाता हूँ। पास ही नहीं मिले यार टोरंटो के क्रिश पे, महंगा है ना, इसलिए पहले बुक करने का। मैं तो बोल रहा हूँ अभी चैम्प्स का मालूम पड़ेगा ना, सीधा बोल रहा हूँ, जितना जल्दी होते। अभी टोरंटो लेने से अच्छा अगर चैम्प्स का सस्ते में मिलता है, आने जाने का भी होएगा, चैम्प्स भी देख पाओगे, एकदम एकदम मजे ही मजे। वो ट्राई करो। रुक जा, देख के ही जा। अरे यार बहुत मारे गए हैं यार, कुछ देख के सीखने वाला भी चीज नहीं है। चलो क्रिश भाई, थैंक यू फॉर द मेंबरशिप एंड कैनेडियन स्टूडेंट $2। ऋषभ भाई मिलते हैं आफ्टरनून को। देख के सो जा, नहीं देखते देखते सो जाऊंगा। थोड़ा देखूंगा तो मैं पूरा ही देखूंगा, मेरे से ऐसा आधा अधूरा काम नहीं होता। सीधे एक साथ देख के सोते हैं। मिलते हैं पैसिफिक स्ट्रीम पे, ठीक है? और व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे या इंस्टाग्राम पे मैं भी अपडेट देखते रहूँगा कि क्या चल रहा है। मैच देखते देखते सो जाते हैं, ठीक है? क्योंकि फिर ऑलरेडी बाहर है, 0-4 चल रहा है, और वो लोग ये मैच जीतते भी 13-0 से, दोनों मैप तो भी आउट है। और MIBR कुछ भी करो तो भी क्वालिफाई है, प्लस आसपास है, तो जी इट्स जी। चलो गाइस, बाय 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 बाय, आदियोस, चेड में पादियोस, टेक केयर्स। होपफुली मुझे 8 बजे से पहले नींद आ जाए, दैट इज माय ओनली गुड होप्स। तो मिलते हैं, बाय बाय, आफ्टरनून स्ट्रीम पे। टेक केयर्स, गुड नाइट, चैट कॉल्स, लव यू चैट, बाय बाय, लव यू एवरीबॉडी, लव यू गोड़ा, लव यू एवरीबॉडी, लव यू टीटीस, लव यू लव यू लव यू, बाय 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 बाय, सी एवरीबॉडी।
I find you a star, and we could be in love, lighting up the dark. But there's nothing I can do, I can never get to you. So I'm looking for a miracle, like it's somebody You deserve better than me. Nothing I can do.